more than $80,000. The bikes were stolen from a business on Wilderness Place late Wednesday or early yesterday. According to police, the technology on two of the bikes makes them worth more than $30,000 each. Anyone with information is being asked to call the Boulder Police Department. That's the latest. I'm Chad Bauer.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Premier Members Credit Union.
A delay on 6th Avenue eastbound as you work your way into the Lakewood area. It's a stalled vehicle blocking the left lane eastbound 6th approaching Kipling, slowing traffic back to around Union or so. Now, once you get past that incident, no other problem spots on 6th Ave. I-25 traffic moving along pretty well for you right now with no major delay between Northland and Castle Rock. Things look good on C-470 out to the west side and through Highlands Ranch. Fox 31 pinpoint weather, a high of 57 today, a chance for some light rain and snow overnight, and then sunny and 68 for Saturday, 58 for Sunday. Currently it's 48. With your Impact Traffic and Weather, I'm Chris McLaughlin, 630 K-How.
At Premier Members, they personally handcraft every detail of every mortgage to perfection. It's not just your mortgage loan, it's their masterpiece. Join them at becomepremier.com. Federally insured by the NCUA, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 416701.
When you're sick, injured, or experiencing an urgent medical problem, the last thing you want to do is leave your home to find care. Now, thanks to Dispatch Health, you don't have to, because Dispatch Health brings the power of the hospital to the comfort of your home. That's right, receive same-day, high-quality care from expertly trained medical professionals in the comfort and privacy of your home. Just call or click, and Dispatch Health comes to you, able to treat common to complex issues, including infections, flu, pneumonia, migraines, dehydration, UTIs, COPD, COVID-19, and much more. It's really that simple. Go to dispatchhealth.com to learn more. And now, Dispatch Health has advanced capabilities to deliver IV fluids and even take x-rays in the home. It's really that powerful. Plus, they're affordable and in-network with most health insurance plans, including Medicare and Medicare Advantage. So the next time you're sick or injured, stay home, stay safe, and let Dispatch Health come to you.
Reach out to Tom Martino and let your voice be heard. Call, text, and now talk back anytime with our free iHeartRadio app while streaming K-How in the full screen player. Just click the microphone to record your message. Talk back to Denver's talk station now.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice. Are we not up those? Come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter.
We Facebook and YouTube. Facebook is up. YouTube is choking. I mean, YouTube is up. Facebook is choking.
All right, welcome to the show. As you know, or if you're new to the show, this is the only show of its kind. In fact, I dare you to find another one even similar. Here's what we do. We go after the bad guys. You've been ripped off, taken advantage of, bad landlord, bad contractor, bad dentist, bad attorney. You get the idea. If you need help, where else do you go for free help? You go right here, 303-MARTINO, 303-713-8255. Any questions? It's car day. And we've got Kevin Culkin with Sheridan Auto Tech with us, but we have a lot of stuff going on today. When I say a lot, it's going to be a crazy show, an absolute crazy show. One of the things we're going to get into is a new towing legislation right here in Colorado. We're going to have Wyatt's Towing on at some point. I'm not sure when Suzanne has it lined up. The other one I'm dying to get on, and I bet he's listening right now, Joel. Joel is the owner of Park It Right. He owns another company, too, a towing company. I'm trying to get him on. He wrote a scathing email to us. I don't think you guys have us defined properly. I don't think what you guys said yesterday is correct. And, I did this, and I made it consumer-friendly. Instead of towing the car, we just put a boot on it. And you know what? I thought about that. There is some validity to that. There truly is. Would you rather have to pay the impound fee and everything else? But if it costs the same to take the boot off, then I don't agree with it. We've had issues over the years with Park It Right, a ton of issues. We've reached out to Joel a lot of times. Yesterday, it seemed like he was going to come on. Then he went back on and watched the video, and apparently we weren't talking about him too nice during the break. Well, come on, man. All we hear is one side of the story, Joel. That's it. We don't get to hear the other side. I implore you to come on. Please. I promise you I will be as fair can be. I will give you all the time you want to talk about it. You can talk about how it's better for the consumer. And you know what? You might even talk me into that. You might actually change my mind on that. I don't know the different costs. Kevin, you were in the towing business before. Was it before Sheridan Autotech?
Yeah, before that. Yeah, we did a lot of parking tows. But for me, the booting it doesn't solve a problem. If they're illegally parked, you want to move. You want the spot open.
You know what?
It's kind of punitive to me to put a boot on it because you're just charging them money.
That's all you're doing.
That's all you're doing.
That's a hell of a good...
But you're not solving the problem.
That's a hell of a good observation. That's why someone like the Burger King downtown or the McDonald's would never do that, because they want that free for somebody.
Yeah, if you boot it, it's going to be there 2 days longer than if you just leave it alone.
I would love to talk to Joel about that. Maybe he has a counterpoint to that, but I swear I can never get this guy to talk. Suzanne, have we even got an email response from him, with the exception of yesterday and today, but in the past when we've reached out?
I don't think so, Mark.
I think, honestly, Tom and I burned a bridge with them years ago, and I'll tell you why. We had someone call in that was in an apartment complex. She said, they booted my car. I have no idea why. There's no signs anywhere saying where you can park and where you can't park. And we, of course, said, oh, come on, we've had this call 1,000 times, and every time we look into it, every single time, we see the signs. Or it's in the HOA decks. It's somewhere. But sure enough, we go down there. There's like one sign in the very back, and the sign itself didn't even make sense. The sign said something like, parking with permits only, guest parking in marked spaces only, something like that. But there was no marked spaces, none at all. So they got booted. We went down there, and I think this pissed Joel off. We went down there, and we did it on air. We did it on Facebook Live. We had thousands of views, people watching us doing it live. We got the car. We brought it over to a shop. We had the boot cut off. Then I personally brought the boot back and put it on the apartment complex's door. He called the police, or someone did. I don't know if it was a complex or Joel. We actually had a detective call us, and, of course, it's a civil matter. And that was it. It fell on deaf ears everywhere. And he was pretty upset, and we were talking about it on air all the time. And I don't know if that's why Joel doesn't want to talk to us about current issues.
Might have something to do with it.
Well, I don't know. But where else can you get help like that? Let's bring it back around to what I said at the beginning. That is what this show's about. 303-713-8255. Talking about help. Trina, what is going on with Valvoline?
Hello?
Yeah, Trina, what is going on? How are you doing?
Good. Well, I took my car to get an oil change at the Quick Valvoline oil change in Longmont, and it was in the afternoon, December 29th. Took it home, put it in the garage, didn't think anything of it. My husband took it to work the next day, and when he came home, I was outside and saw him driving up the driveway. It was leaking oil like a sieve all over.
And how long after the oil change, Trina?
They changed the oil like, 4 o'clock the day before. And like I said, I just drove it home, put it in the garage, and then my husband took it to work the next morning. So basically he drove it for like 20 minutes, sat in the parking lot, and then he drove it home, and it was leaking. You could see it come down the street.
Hey, Kevin, I'm guessing. Kevin, total guess, but there was no oil in the garage, right, Trina?
There was oil in the garage.
Oh, okay, so it leaked overnight as well.
Yeah. So okay. I freaked out. I tried to call them. They don't answer. So I hopped in the car, took it back up there, and they proceeded to tell me that it's not oil, that it's the transmission fluid.
Well, I mean, that's easy. It's easy to prove one way or the other. It's either oil or transmission fluid. So what was it?
So they told me it's transmission fluid, and in my head, I'm like, no, that's not, because I know cars. I know.
Well, did you go somewhere else?
So at that point, it was almost like 4:30, ready to close. I called my mechanic, because I usually take it to my mechanic. But it was the holidays. My husband was out of town.
So what happened?
I took it to my mechanic. I called him right away, and I said, look, I took it to get an oil change somewhere else. They messed it up, and they said it's the transmission fluid. I need to take it to you. and I know you'll be closed. He said, leave it. I'll look at it tomorrow.
Okay.
And the next day he looked at it, and he said, Trina, it's $1,100. It's the oil filter housing. And I said, well, did they do it? Is it their fault? He said, I don't know until I open it up.
Trina, hold on one second. What kind of car is it?
It's a 2012 Chrysler Town & Country.
2012 Town & Country. Okay, so he's saying the oil filter housing unit is cracked, right?
No, that they cross-threaded it.
Okay,
So
Kevin, wait, hold on a second. Hold on, Trina, hold on. I'm asking one of our experts. Kevin, putting an oil filter on, I figured the oil filter could get cross-threaded, of course, but how would that ruin the housing?
If I'm not mistaken, it's a cartridge, so it's got a housing, a cartridge inside a housing.
Okay, so it's not a screw-on.
Picture it like a cup with threads that you put up and you put back on.
So this could happen.
Yeah, very easy.
Oh, my goodness.
Especially with the plastic one. Yeah.
Okay, so what happened after your mechanic said it was this? Did you call Valvoline up, Trina?
I tried to call the store. I got the road around. I finally told, I said, I need a manager. And I can help you. Well, then when I told them, then they passed me off to somebody else. They wouldn't give me a name of who I was talking to. And then all of a sudden, he said, oh, you need to talk to Harold. And I said, okay, so what's his number? Oh, you need to talk to Harold. He's not here, and I don't know how to get a hold of him. You could try the other store. And I said, okay. So,
Trina, how long ago is this? I thought you said this was like last year.
It was December 29th.
What made you call today? Before we go any further, what made you reach out today?
So I've been working with they tell you to call Valvoline customer service line.
Got it.
And you have to deal with that 1-800 number. They don't give you any phone numbers, no contact names whatsoever, no emails. They don't respond.
All right, listen, I want to ask you a couple questions, and I got to take a break. I promise I'll come back to you first. So these are the questions I want answers to real fast, though. Did they say they're going to give you anything or absolutely nothing at this point, or neither?
So I made the claim. The guy called my mechanic and said he would come look at the car because I told my guy, don't touch the car. I want to make sure that they see it.
Yeah.
And he never came, nothing. The weekend went by. The next Monday I called because I hadn't heard from him. He said, he flat out lied. The district manager, Harold Jackson, said that, oh, I talked to your mechanic and he said it's not our fault.
Well, did he talk to your mechanic or no?
He never talked to
my mechanic. Can we get your mechanic on? Would your mechanic come on and talk to us? Hold on a second. I want to know if Suzanne, quiz her a little. I would love to get her mechanic on, and if he can actually say this, and I think we go to war with Valvoline. I mean, this is crazy if it's true. Hold tight.
When you're sick, injured, or experiencing an urgent medical problem, the last thing you want to do is leave your home to find care. Now, thanks to Dispatch Health, you don't have to, because Dispatch Health brings the power of the hospital to the comfort of your home. That's right, receive same-day, high-quality care from expertly trained medical professionals in the comfort.
All right, check it out. Genesis Total Exteriors. You know why I love Mark Szymanski? Well, he's personally worked on my house, which I love. He came over with his painter. We picked out the different paints. The quality of paint in our house looks absolutely beautiful. But whether you need stucco on the house, whether you need a new deck, anything exterior, that's what Genesis is known for, and they've been doing it for over 20 years. On top of that, the new solar company Mark opened is unbelievable. A 25-year bumper-to-bumper solar system that's covered by warranty and guaranteed to produce the energy they tell you it's going to. You're not going to find a better deal in solar. You're not going to find a better deal on the exterior of your home. 303-679-8509, 303-679-8509. Now let's talk about ideal home loans. Why are they called ideal home loans? I bet you can guess. Because they will give you the ideal home loan for what's right for you. Maybe you don't want a 30 or a 15. Maybe you need a 10-year mortgage. Maybe you want the lowest rates out there. They have that. They also have the interest rate guarantee. Who else out there can guarantee that if interest rates go down in a 2-year period from after you close with them, they'll come back and refi you for 100% free. Their credit optimization plan can help your credit score. You can do a rapid rescore and get you a better rate. They do it all. You're going to hear a lot of ads for mortgage brokers. These are the guys. 303-867-7000, 303-867-7000.
Why do more Americans buy term life insurance through Select Quote than any other term life sales agency?
Shut up. It's hard to stop talking.
Okay, I got the mechanical.
Oh, good. Good job.
Okay, with R&D Auto. Sounds nice enough. He didn't hang up on me. That means he's nice.
Get ready, because we're going to try to call whatever his name is.
Did you want to see what this oil filter cap looks like?
Yeah, let me see.
It's a real fine thread.
Oh my God, that is weird looking.
Yeah.
And then there's something that sits in there.
The cartridge sits inside.
Why would it cost so much if it's stripped though?
Well, the housing is stripped. If the cap, like,
so that's metal, not plastic.
No, it's all
No,
they're all plastic.
Bakelite shit, that hard black shit.
That's why it's so easy to strip. See, if they don't start it by hand, they put a big ass socket on there and just crank it on.
And then is it possible whoever did it last stripped it and it didn't leak until it was undone?
Well, that's the job of the guy taking it off, and the cap
to at least note it or something.
Well, to replace it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't. She's saying it ruined her car, which is odd. I mean,
well,
all it is a housing.
Is up. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of work to do.
No, I know, but it's not like she needs an engine.
No. But one thing, you know,
she said it was $1,100.
Call 303-761-6400 for roof inspections.
The one thing, you know, that I kind of want to mention too is you shouldn't be driving a car around town leaking oil trying to get an answer.
Yeah, I wonder if she's actually checking the oil.
But even still, I mean, it's, you know, even for $100 tow, I mean, if you ruin an engine, they're not going to pay for it if you drove it knowing it was leaking.
761-6400. That's 761-6400 or go to excelroofing.com. This report is sponsored by Woodley's Fine Furniture.
Clearing skies throughout the day for your Friday. Temperatures a little bit cooler in the upper 50s with a good breeze for later on this afternoon. I'm Fox 31 6-point weather team meteorologist Skyly Burst.
Woodley's Fine Furniture, specializing in handcrafted Colorado-made furniture, custom upholstery.
Oh, good.
The most comfortable leather furniture imaginable. You will not find
what's wrong?
Facebook. In Colorado,
Facebook's always weird.
YouTube,
there was times I couldn't get Facebook up. It just didn't matter.
I know. Well, see, I'm switching it into that new ID, and in the last week or two, we've gotten a lot more Facebook watchers.
We used to have way more than YouTube. All right, 303-713-8255. Taken advantage of, ripped off. You know, over $300 million in cash merchandise exchanges, refunds, services directly due to the show. You're not going to get help anywhere else for free like this. We use the power of the media if you're new. We really do. In fact, people, the first time they listen to the show, and we find a real bad guy. We don't do this for, you know, miscommunication is probably the #1 problem we see. But let me tell you, there's real bad guys out there. We had a transmission shop not long ago. This guy, if he was mad at you, your vehicle would disappear. I am not kidding. We had probably 3 or 4 people call when they went back for warranty work and got into it with the owner. The vehicle would be stolen that night. I guarantee those vehicles. Yeah. Do you remember who it was? Jeff? Was it Jeff Jolly?
Jeff Jolliffe.
Yep.
Jeff Jolliffe. I mean, this guy's like a total deadbeat. In my opinion, Jeff Jolliffe is a thief. That's my opinion. I can have it all day long. The guy is like There's something wrong with them upstairs. There's literally something wrong with them. I have never seen so many vehicles missing. He came on this show one time and said, oh, okay, I'll go ahead and do the warranty work, have them bring it back. We got a call from that customer the very next day. I dropped it off that night. He just called me. My vehicle was stolen. We're thinking, well, Valvoline store. Kevin, do you happen to know if these are independently owned? Are these franchise agreements?
I think they're mixed. I think there are some that are still independent.
But they're like quick lube places, right?
Exactly.
All right, so she takes it to the Valvoline quick lube place. Where was that, Trina? What town? What city?
It was in Longmont, off Pace.
So in Longmont, she gets an oil change. She drives it home. It leaks some oil overnight in her driveway. Her husband drives it the next day. It's leaking oil everywhere. They end up bringing it over to their mechanic, and I'm going to lock you in here. And Jacob, you looked at this vehicle, and Jacob, you're with R&D Auto?
That is correct.
And when did you look at it compared to what was on her receipt from Valvoline? The next day, the next couple days, what?
So I have it as December 30th of 2021.
December 30th. And what's on the receipt there, Trina? When did you actually get the oil change done at Valvoline?
The day before.
Okay, so we're talking one day.
I'm sorry. No, I got it changed the 29th.
Okay.
Yeah, because I took it back the next day.
Yeah, I got you.
It was two. Yeah.
And they said it's transmission fluid. So, Jacob, a couple questions. One, is there any transmission fluid leaking?
No.
And then two, is it possible that they didn't do it? Someone else cracked that housing, and I looked at it. I understand what this is now. Is it possible someone else who did the oil change prior to this cracked it, but because it wasn't taken off yet, it started leaking, or there's no way this was Valvoline's issue to the best of your opinion?
So the best of my opinion, it was their issue. And you could tell you could tell if the housing was oblonged on one side because the oil filter cap to the housing was not installed properly and was cross-threaded into the housing.
Kevin, what do you think? This is all making, would you be on the...
This is very common.
It is.
It absolutely is if you don't take your time and you don't have any experience, which a lot of these places don't.
Yeah.
You know, they try to get them in and out as quick and as fast.
Yeah, the same guy changing your oil serving you at, Kentucky Fried Chicken that night.
Yeah.
Hey, Trina, so you have tried everything for the last, 4 months to get this solved, and these guys are just stonewalling you.
Yes. I call the 1-800. They won't give you any phone number. You have to deal with the 1-800 number that's on the website. You talk to customer service people. They say, "Oh, I've escalated it." We'll let you know. I have never gotten a phone call. I have never gotten an email. Every time I try and follow up, I just found out about 3 weeks ago that they did escalate it, and they dismissed it again on, I think it was January 27th.
What does that mean, they dismissed it? What does dismissed it mean?
So they didn't accept the responsibility.
Oh, my God. Who's the manager? All right, Trina, hold on. I get it. They're stonewalling you. They suck. In my opinion, if everything you're saying is correct, I mean, these guys are, I don't know why. I mean, Kevin, you're saying this happens.
Yeah, I'm sure this is not the 100th one they've had.
So this is insane. I can't believe these guys are doing this. Who is the manager at that location?
They will not give me a manager name. They won't give me an owner's name. I know there's an owner, and he owns 3 shops, but they will not give me a name, a phone number, email. I've called several times. Even I've called other stores, and
all right.
the girl that answered the phone.
Okay, give me the store phone number of the one you call.
Hold on 1 second. I don't have that. Let me
All right, listen, here's what I want from you. I want you to get that. I'm going to put you on hold. I want that phone number. Deputy Doc, I want you to make a call, but I also want our listeners to just, let's figure out, why would you not say who the manager is? You know what's irritating me more than anything about this is if you ask, can I talk to the manager? Can I talk to the owner? They don't tell you? What kind of piece of crap doesn't allow their own employees to say who they are? I mean, what are they even thinking? And you better not be lying to me on this, Trina. This seems so ridiculous. Have you ever told your employees, "Oh, never tell who owns this. Don't give the manager's name"?
No, I want to solve the problem before it gets too much.
This is absolutely absurd. Why would anybody do that? Trina, you're not BSing me in any way. You absolutely cannot get the name of the manager or owner.
I cannot get the name of the manager or the owner.
You know what? Just hold on. That's fine. I'm going to prove this point. I want to see if she's telling the truth. During the break, Deputy Doc, I don't want you to bring up the problem. I don't want you to bring up anything. I want you to call them before we give their number out and see if you can figure out who the manager or owner is, because I find that crazy. And Trina, if you're not lying about that, and that is factual, I promise I will do a free commercial for them every 30 minutes for the rest of the show. Tyler, hold on. We're going to get to this warranty issue right after this.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Tom Martino now. Dan Kaplis today at 4, 630 KHOW, Denver. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by the maker of Frontline Plus.
2 left lanes are blocked with a stalled vehicle on eastbound 6th Avenue between Sims and Kipling. So watch for a delay there. And once you get past that situation approaching Kipling there, your speeds improve along eastbound 6, working your way towards I-25. No delay right now on I-25 or across I-70. 225 and the Boulder Turnpike, both looking good. Fox 31 pinpoint weather, mostly cloudy today, a high of 57. A chance for light rain or snow overnight with a low of 34. And then for Saturday, sunny and 68 and 58 with a few clouds on Sunday. Currently it's 48. With your Impact Traffic and Weather, I'm Chris.
Frontline Plus is the #1 name in flea and tick protection. So, however you want to live life with your pets, Frontline Plus lets you take them everywhere, no matter how you define it. Available for dogs or cats. Visit frontline.com to learn more.
Oh, man, if you own a house or maybe a building, I'm going to tell you some words you never want to hear, and I'm not kidding. How about fire, flood, mold, crime? How about unattended death? How about a meth lab has been built in your place? Asbestos. These are things you never want to hear, but if you do hear them, you have to call the right company. There is more ripoffs in restoration than virtually any other place. You need to call American Restoration. I've known Rock personally for years and years. This guy can go in and help you with flood damage within hours of it starting. He can safely remove anything that shouldn't be in there, mold, toxic substances, you name it. It's the latest technology, the latest equipment, 20-plus years of experience, just himself. You got to write this number down. It's one of these things, we've done the shopping. When something happens, you need to know who to call. He can work with your insurance company. 833-7-AM-REST. 833-7-AM-REST. And by the way, that's their website as well. 833-7-AM-REST. Now, if you ever buy property, or maybe you're a landlord, or maybe you're thinking about buying a house or an investment property with someone other than your spouse, there's different things in real estate you need to get an attorney to look at. You need the deal done right, because if there is a problem, you want to be able to go to that contract and make sure it's everything that it should be. Bradley O'Brien is the guy we love right here. He's on the air with us all the time, but he can do anything when it comes to real estate. Have him eyeball it at minimal. If you're a landlord, he can look at your lease, he can update it. You get the idea. O'Brien Legal Services, 720-370-7388 or olslaw.com.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? Would you notice the 16-year-old boy who got his first job?
Not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
Or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. I am hungered in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungeredInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Are you one of the millions of homeowners who haven't refinanced yet? If so, I'm here to tell you it's not too late. Hi, I'm Wesley Hogan with Westland Financial. Although the lowest rates may be in our rearview mirror, as the economy recovers from the biggest economic shock of our lifetime, rates still remain near historic lows. In fact, with the dramatic increase in home values, this may be the perfect time to put that new home equity to work. Take advantage of our cash out refi program and pay off high rate credit cards, car loans, or other high interest rate debt. Or finally make those home improvements you put on hold for so long. Best of all, we can do this with no closing costs. That's right, whether it's a conventional, FHA, or VA loan, we'll pay for your title, settlement, lender, and recording fees. So call Westland at 888-455-3669. That's 888-455-3669. It's the biggest no-brainer in the history of mankind. 888-455-3669.
NMLS number 3304. Not all loans apply. Equal housing lender.
Your car is worth more right now than any time in the past, and that's pretty exciting. Trade in, trade up, trade down, whatever your needs are, the Sharpest Rides in Englewood, they are going to give you the best offer hands down. And the Sharpest Rides is so easy to get to, just located minutes from I-25 in Santa Fe. And with the best appraisals in town from their trained buyers, you know you'll always be taken care of and get the best deals at the Sharpest Rides. I'm telling you, if you're looking to trade in, go to the Sharpest Rides, best customer service in town. Get more info at thesharpestrides.com.
Hi, everybody. Jack Corrigan, voice of your Colorado Rockies. Join me and MLB legend Cal Ripken Jr. for the 2022 Sports Breakfast at Ball Arena, supporting the Boy Scouts of America. It's April 6th from 7 to 9 a.m. You'll hear amazing Scout impact stories, meet local sports stars and celebrities, and, of course, hear from the Hall of Famer Cal Ripken himself. For more information, go to denverboyscouts.org/sportsbreakfast. Register to attend today.
What's done more to improve overall health and wellness, modern medicine or personal hygiene? Actually, it's both. But considering that bathing went mainstream in the 1800s and brushing your teeth in the 1900s, isn't it time for something new, like cleaning your nose? After all, your nose is the body's air filter for trapping dirt and germs, the first line of defense against allergens, bacteria, and viruses from getting into your lungs. But how do you clean your nose?
All right, 303-713-8255. Deputy Doc, you went in there, you called up Valvoline in Longmont and asked if there was a manager, an owner. What did you find out, sir?
Well, I called up, I asked the manager. They said the manager's Ashley. She's right here. Let me get her for you.
See, this is what drives me crazy. So, Trina, listen, I feel bad for you, and I want to help you, and I want to get that housing paid for beyond anything. But Deputy Doc didn't say I'm calling. Well, I'm going to ask him. You didn't say you're calling from the show or anything.
No, I said a friend of mine had a problem. Can I talk to the manager?
And what'd they say again?
They said, Ashley's the manager. She's right here. I'll go get her.
So, Trina, how is this possible where you couldn't get a manager and Deputy Doc can get one in 5 seconds without trying?
Well, when I called, they knew I had gone back that day. And when I called back the next day.
So your assumption is, hold on, this could be a fair assumption. Your assumption is because they know you have a problem and want something from them, they don't want to give you the information.
Correct. They wouldn't even give me a number. They said, you need to call Harold. I go, Harold.
All right, here's what I want you to do. Listen, I'm going to give this to Deputy Doc, and I think along with your expert, do you have something written up by the shop you brought it to, R&D Auto, Jacob? Do you have something written up by him saying that's what the issue is?
Yes, I have that.
And do you have the receipt? Hold on. Do you have the receipt from when you had the oil change from Valvoline?
And that's just it. I don't have the receipt. They said they were going to email it to me. They never emailed it to me.
Okay.
I have emails.
No, I get it. But you know exactly what date you went in there and under what name.
I have a date. I have a claim number from Valvoline.
Okay, let's do this. Okay, I got you. Trina, I got you. So, Deputy Doc, here's what I want you to do. I want you to call these guys back up, and I want you to talk to the manager. What was her name again? Ashley. Talk to Ashley. I'm going to have Trina email Suzanne or you directly that receipt or even a photo of it, whatever we can get the information off, Trina. I want it quick. So get that over to us, both those things, something from your R&D Auto, your mechanic, Jacob, saying, hey, this is most likely their fault. Here's what's wrong. Here's what I found the very next day, along with that receipt over to Doc. Doc's going to call up. He's going to talk to that manager, and we're going to go from there. Let's call this miscommunication for right now. But if they don't want to do anything for Deputy Doc, we're gonna have issues.
Yeah, and Ashley, I believe she might be the one that was at the Hover store that I tried to call because there was another girl that was helping
Okay,
me
none of that. You know what? None of that matters. I'm going to put her on hold. I don't want to get that thick into the woods. We got to find out. You know, you told me, and honestly, Trina, we're going to help you, but you told me you can't even get the owner or manager's name, and we got it in a second. So maybe you're not communicating with them properly. Maybe they don't want to help you because of something happened, but we do want to help you, and we're going to figure this out for you. And if everything you say is true, and I believe you because we talked to your mechanic, we're going to get this paid for. So hold tight. We're going to figure that out. Now, Suzanne, are we going to get that Kaiser call back up? I'm just curious on that.
She called in. I don't have her number, babe.
I would love for her to call back in. That we have a doctor sitting right next to me, Deputy Doc, that has delivered thousands of babies. How many people have you prescribed birth control to over the years, Doc? I mean, 1 million?
A hell of a lot.
Yeah, so listen, call back in. We have some great information for you that you're going to want to hear. It's a very curious problem you have, and we'd like to talk about it. There's no doubt about it. All right, 303-713-8255. Suzanne, who should I go to? Tyler?
Dan and Jesse.
Dan and Jesse first? Okay. Tyler, hang tight. I promise you'll be after these guys. Hey, Dan, what's going on, man?
So I took my vehicle to a mechanic here in Colorado Springs, and I had them work on a number of issues. The first time I took it in was a year ago, December, to work on a fuel smell.
Hey, wait a second. Dan, you already confused me a little bit. A year ago, December, meaning what, 2020 December or 2021?
Yeah. 2020.
2020 December. Okay, go ahead.
Right. So the original reason why I took it in is because the Durango, 2004 Dodge Durango smelled like, gasoline. So I took it in there. They diagnosed the problem, told me they had to remove the fuel tank and do all these diagnostic testing and all that. And it wound up being over about $2,000. So, at that point, I felt like they did a good job. So then there were some other issues that were starting to pop up on the Durango.
How long after the 2020 work of 2000?
About 2 months later.
But totally different issues.
Yeah, totally different issues.
Okay, so go ahead. So now February of 2021, what?
February of 2021, I called you originally and asked, for you guys to send me to someone to check on the work that they did. I spent over $10,000 with this company.
Wow! Wait! So you went back somewhere in February of last year and spent another $8,000?
No. So I spent over the course of 2021. I went every couple of months to have something done. It was there were different issues. So all totaled, with my car and my daughter's car, I spent over $10,000 with this company.
Wow, that's a lot of scratch, man. So what's going on now?
So you guys had me take the car over to Honest Accurate, which I did. Here in
Great
Colorado
people.
Springs. And they
what did you? But hold on a second, Dan. And you've got to understand, we're explaining this story to a lot of people. So if you've dealt with us here already off the air and sent it, that makes no sense to anybody listening. So you had the $10,000 done. The one thing we haven't said yet is why you spent $10,000 if it needed $10,000 and everything was fixed. Why did you have? What was your other issue? Was it something they already did or what?
Yes, so all of the issues that I had fixed, there was something that was bugging me. It didn't feel like it was fixed properly.
What was it?
The rear differential was leaking like a sieve.
Okay.
I spent, several thousands of dollars on that.
So they actually did work on the rear differential and it was still leaking.
Yeah.
And when did you bring it back to them and say it's still leaking? Did they address it?
So I took it back in September or October, I can't remember, of last year, and I wanted them to look at it because it was still making a loud noise. When I accelerate to 45 miles per hour, I could hear, the grinding and the noise in the back of the differential.
Yeah.
So I said, we got to get this fixed, and I want to look at several other things you guys did. So I took it back. They kept it for a few days. I mean, They were working on this differential for a full month.
So what happened? What happened when you picked it up?
It still wasn't fixed.
Was it still leaking and making the noise?
It was still making the noise.
And what did they? By the way, what is the name of this shop?
Adams and Sons.
So what did Adams and Sons say at this point when you brought it back again?
They said they couldn't find any problem with it.
They couldn't see the leak and they couldn't hear the noise.
No.
All right, and then you brought it over to Honest Accurate after you contacted us. We told you, go get a second opinion, and then we'll talk to you, right?
Right.
All right, and then here's the nice part. We already have a follow-up. We're going to find out after this break exactly what went down because Jesse Schillinger, one of the owners of Honest Accurate, on our referral list at referrallist.com is going to come on. They looked at this thing all over, and they're going to give their opinion of what they think happened, what needs to be fixed. Then we're going to deal with Adams.
Now, impact traffic.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's Breakfast Biscuit Sandwich. Just $1.
Two left lanes are blocked with a stalled vehicle on eastbound 6th Avenue between Sims and Kipling. So watch for delay there. Now, once you get at that situation approaching Kipling there, your speeds improve along eastbound 6, working your way towards I-25. No delay right now on I-25 or across I-70. 225 and Boulder Turnpike, both looking good. Fox 31, pinpoint weather, mostly cloudy today, a high of 57. A chance for light rain or snow overnight with a low of 34. And then for Saturday, sunny and 68, and 58 with a few clouds on Sunday. Currently, it's 48. With your impact traffic and weather, I'm Chris McLaughlin, 630 KHOW.
Wendy's knows a better breakfast starts with a better biscuit. That's why you can get a hot and buttery Wendy's breakfast biscuit with bacon or sausage, fresh cracked egg and cheese for just $1. Get your Wendy's Buck Biscuit Sandwich today. Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's.
You know what I love about these guys, and I'm talking about Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies. They do exactly what their name says. If you have been saving up money for a long time, maybe you have a 401k and you're leaving your job, you're getting to retire, you don't know where to roll it over to, you don't know what to do with it, you don't know if you want to be aggressive. These guys have a comprehensive approach. It's going to help you. These guys literally bring you into that retirement area. Maybe you're just dealing with Social Security income. Maybe you have some rental properties. Maybe you're starting to wonder about taxation. In other words, do you want to actually sell certain assets at this age and take the tax burden on, or are you better off to wait? You need to talk to these guys. In fact, don't change anything right now. In fact, talk to them, get some great ideas. They're going to listen to everything going on in your life, your spouse's life, whether you have kids. They're going to do, once again, a comprehensive approach. I want you to talk to them. 970-663-3211. 970-663-3211, rpcenter.com. Now, let's talk about another investment idea. If you're younger, I want you to really think about this. Maybe you have younger kids that are under even 18 right now. Do you realize you can start a savings account that you can actually allow them to borrow from? It's all backed on life insurance, and it's a pretty cool thing for younger people. If you're older in life, I'm not going to suggest it depending on your age. And when I say older, I'm talking retirement age. But if you have younger kids, you can help them actually build their nest egg right now. And I suggest you look into it. You don't have a lot of money to do it. It doesn't matter. They can walk you through the entire thing, and it's great for your kids. Go to becomethebanker.org. You can see Martino actually talking about it with the owner. It's really cool. Becomethebanker.org.
Is your concrete sinking? Interior floor?
You ever hear wood lovers paralysis?
What?
If you do shrooms that have grown in wood, you can become paralyzed temporarily.
For how long?
Well, it varies.
Oh, you mean like almost like ketamine or something?
No, yeah, but I mean like you can't open or close your mouth, your legs stop working.
Like something Bill Cosby would slip you.
Oh, you know, but the funny part is the guy's talking about it. Yeah, it's happened to me 3 or 4 times. It's like,
and he's still doing it.
The
vet, we used to have a vet next to our computer store, and people would break in and steal ketamine.
Oh, yeah.
This is like 15 years ago. And I was like, well, what the fuck's ketamine for? I didn't know. I mean, now you hear it everywhere. He goes, well, that's what we use when we put animals to sleep. And I said, so these fucking morons break in to steal a drug and use it that you use to put animals to sleep. Who the fuck does that?
People who are hooked on ketamine.
Fuck.
I think that's half of what they do. I mean, you know, I used to ask my kid that. I said, so you're at a concert, somebody comes up to you and hands you something, so you pop it?
You just do it?
What's wrong with you?
Yeah,
You know,
what's your problem?
it's like all this stuff that's laced with
fentanyl.
Fentanyl now.
Somebody
Here's
just
an
died.
idea. Stop doing it.
It had 10 times the amount to kill a full-blown adult, and it killed like a 14-year-old girl.
Yeah. Well, you're trusting who to
Yeah, but most of the time they don't even know.
But I'm just saying, you're trusting some idiot to cut it properly or something.
Yeah. You know, back in the day, they'd cut it with, flour.
Yeah, with maltose.
They'd water it down. They wouldn't beef it up.
Yeah.
So the Washington Post won't even say pregnant women are at higher risk, blah, blah, blah. They say pregnant people.
Yeah. Well, we can't assume that.
That drove you crazy, didn't it?
Yeah, it's driving me crazy because I don't know of any pregnant men.
Well, I've seen a few pregnant people in my life.
Now, maybe we
100% of them were women.
Now, we might see some.
Yeah, but you can't define women now.
I can.
Well, Supreme Court
justices can.
Wait, but the point is, Biden said he's going to appoint a minority woman to the Supreme Court. So if he can define it, then she should be able to define it.
She chose not to because she didn't want to get step in that landmine.
Yeah.
They should have followed up and said, what do you think?
She is.
These Charmin commercials are driving me insane.
What Charmin commercial?
That's a Charmin commercial.
I don't even understand it. Or is it so we talk about it like, holy shit, I don't understand?
No, they're not looking at you when they're doing this commercial. They don't care about anything else. With Charmin.
Who they look at? Women who buy toilet paper for their family?
Whoever, yeah.
Who listen to R&B.
Whoever, yeah.
And actually, it's not just R&B. They have about 3 or 4 different tunes going on.
You mean they have an Asian version, a black version, a white version?
I don't know. I haven't heard the country western version.
You haven't heard the redneck version yet?
There hasn't been a redneck yet.
It's all
Kenny Rogers singing the game.
With all the rest of the white versions. What the heck? It's in rotation. It hasn't come up yet.
I like Costco toilet paper.
So do I, by the way.
Hey, man, it's soft as shit.
Nah.
All right, 303-713-8255. Suzanne, when are we going to have Wyatt's on real quick?
I think in the next hour we will.
Yeah, I'm dying to get to this. When you folks out there hear about some of the laws they're trying to pass in towing, it's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. And listen, I am pro-consumer all the way. But when you hear some of these changes that folks are talking about, it's an amazing thing. You got to wonder if their heads are literally up their ass, because they must be. But we're gonna dive into that. In a way, I hope the changes are made, and I'll explain that next hour. But in a way, I really do. They're definitely consumer friendly. But I mean, and I'll tell you why. I'm being kind of tongue in cheek, but it's crazy. In a way, I do hope they pass. But man, I just never heard of anything. Every time I think I heard it all. Now we're going to get right back to Dan. We're going to bring up Jesse Schillinger. He's the owner of Honest Accurate. And Jesse, I'm going to have Tyler up too, but let's let Jesse talk. But here's the bottom line. Tyler brought his vehicle.
Dan, not Tyler.
Or I'm sorry, Dan brought his vehicle to Adams & Sons Automotive Shop somewhere in Colorado Springs. He spent $10,000 spanning from December 2020 through 2021. $10,000. He's having massive problems with this differential. It's still leaking. It's making noise. He's got 2,000 or 3,000 involved into this. He called up a while back. We said, hey, before we get you on the air and do anything, let's get it down to one of our experts on referralist.com and let them look at it. So without further ado, Jesse, what did you find out? Hold on a second, man. I got to lock him in. What did you find out when it came to Dan's vehicle, his Durango?
Yeah, no problem, Mark. So we looked it over, and of course the rear end is shot. Most likely leaking fluid. I sent you guys a list of a lot of their repairs, by the way. But from what they show, they did a repair. It came back with still leaking fluid. They did it under warranty. It came back. They did another one. This time they charged him again.
Wait, the same thing though? I mean, literally on their invoice, they charged them. They charged them under warranty.
Yeah. So I asked them about that. They actually did call me, wanting to get this resolved. So they called, and I went over some of these questions I had. I'm not you guys, so I don't try to stand in the middle of that. But I just simply said, my question is, with this rear end, what happened where you did work, and then you did it under warranty, and then you charged again?
What'd they say?
They said, well, the warranty shouldn't have been warranty, and we charged him the next time in because we didn't charge him that time. So he was just making up for that.
That sounds like double talk almost. So
that's what I said. Then the next thing they said was, well, Dan declines a lot of things. You'll see where he declines a lot of work. He does and picks and chooses what he wants.
My God, what did he decline? $10,000 in a year? This guy's every auto shop's wet dream.
Yeah, you're right about that. We just want to get him right and on the road. And in this case, they're doing stuff under warranty. Then he's coming back and they're charging him. Then they're coming back again and charging him for this other one. And
so what did they tell you? Were they willing to refund that, or what did they tell you they were going to do?
They said that they were going to reach out to Dan. So that's where I said, Dan, you may want to get in touch with them. I'm not sure where they're at on all that.
Dan, have they reached out to you since that conversation with Jesse?
They have reached out to me and offered me $1,000 refund.
And how much right now, though, Jesse, he needs a full differential?
Correct. Yep. That differential is going to need to be either rebuilt or replaced. We can either which way, but it's going to be,
How much would that be? How much is something like that?
You're in the ballpark of, $2,000, $2,500, depending on whether we replace or rebuild it.
Here's what I don't understand. What did they do to it that cost $2,000 besides rebuild it or replace it? I'm a little lost here. He spent $2,000 on the differential, but they never replaced it, correct?
Well, he didn't spend $2,000 on the differential. The differential is bits and pieces where they went in and did things on it. It's probably, there's so many bills here, it's hard to pick through this, but it looks like the differential's probably about $1,500 worth of different repairs there.
Now, is it fair to say they should have never done those repairs? They should have sold him a differential at that point?
Absolutely. I talked to the, I want to say manager over there, and I said, when you saw this come back for warranty, then it's coming back a third time. At that point, don't you stop to see if there's play or something else? Why does this thing keep leaking? And they admitted.
And then that's where they came. So, I wonder how they came up with this arbitrary number of $1,000. Did they share that with you, Dan? Why 1,000? Why not 1,500?
No, that's exactly right. Not only that, but they do all these diagnostic fees of $250 or all these different kind of fees, and I just felt like $1,000 is
all right. What are you looking for? You know what? I don't like what's going on here. What do you think's fair? And I'll tell you if I think you're being unfair.
I want the differential fixed, and I want two or $3,000 for a refund.
Why $3,000? You just lost me on $3,000.
Because of the other things that are still wrong with it.
Like what? Give me another example. Jesse, did you find anything else that they repaired that wasn't repaired correctly?
We did have to go in and redo the fuel pump because there was some twisted fuel lines in there.
How much did you spend on that? Like how much was the fix?
Original. That was 17 something.
Oh my God. Hold on a second. This is crazy. These guys, $10,000? Kevin, do you have any customers dropping $10,000 like that?
A few, and we'd love a few more.
Oh my God. And now this guy's upset. If anything, they blew the best customer in the world. Hang tight. We're going to finish up.
The fuel line, so they had to replace the fuel lines probably, and the fuel pump. And, yeah.
That's absurdity. Is Marty on? Did he sign in?
Yeah. Smarty.
Yeah, is he there?
Pearson is there, and
ask him who wants to call Adams. I want someone to call him right now.
There's some pastries out there if you want any. Are you done with Jesse?
No.
Okay.
We will be real quick, though. I'm not going to linger on this.
He's just chatting between his own donuts.
I put it all in your email. Is that okay? Because she sent over the
I'm
names
gonna
and
praise the
everything.
hell out of you.
Let's see if I get a response from her during the show. That's my favorite line. And if she says call the 800 number, I'm going to flip. Try to figure out who the owner is.
That's Tyler with Premier Window Washing.
He's been having
and
problems
pressure
with that
washing.
Ford for a year.
What is it?
It's one of their vans they bought for their business, and it's a warranty issue, and that's what I got for you.
I take it we have it from Joel, the lump of coal.
Yeah. Jesse, I've got to call back in a minute.
On our free iHeartRadio app and at khow.com.
You know what? I don't know if we even need Jesse anymore. He can go back to work.
All right. Yeah, we've taken up a lot of his time.
Yeah, Jesse's all. I understand everything.
Do you?
Hey, Deputy Smarty Marty, do you want to call on this?
He's not listening to 11:30. I think we should give that a mention. Watch this to me. It'll be our little Ukraine part.
A statement by Donald J. Trump?
No, this one. It's just, I think we should. It's a local bakery. They listen. Daughter-in-law's Ukrainian or whatever. They're doing a little fundraiser. You know, do our little part for Ukraine.
Who is it?
He's a listener. He's the owner. He's a chef who owns this bakery, and they're doing a a fundraiser this week.
If we're going to do that, we have him do it, not
Okay.
us.
All right.
You know what I mean? It'll mean more coming from the owner.
Okay. So you don't mind? I'll do it in the last hour or two, not right now.
Do you get any notices from Facebook or the help account? Any at all?
Just that my phone number was added and stuff like that. Why?
I'm trying to get it to set up a live stream, but it keeps telling me that it's not ready to do it for some reason.
Oh, so you've not been able to post it?
I'm in the account. I'm in as Martino, but well, just look.
I mean, you posted the live video, so that's all that matters.
Yesterday.
No, I think today I saw that it was posted.
Today?
I thought it said, maybe I'm getting my days confused. I mean, essentially, you're just using that Facebook to post the video to referral list instead of using what.
I'm using that account to actually receive the stream to create the video, and it's not doing it. In other words, you look right here, watch. When I click this, set up a live stream, it tells me, sorry, this content isn't available right now. Okay, so I'm trying to. I was just wondering if you received.
Let me go look at it. Let me go see. I don't know. Let me go look, see what's going on.
If you got nothing, I'll just keep looking.
Do not give Linzest to children less than 2 years old. It may harm them. Do not take Linzest if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzest.
Poor fucking bastard.
Right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area.
I gotta mention Peter's show at some point. I gotta do it.
Talk to a doctor today. Say yes to Linzest. Learn more at linzest.com.
Peter's off the air now, huh?
Linze.
Yeah, he was saying he's still gonna do like, I don't know, something up his sleeve. But yes, he's retired. What the hell's this South Platte River project?
We're going to lift our expanded ecosystem and quite frankly,
You know, it's just like you can make some shit up. People just.
Up out of what Sun Valley, Mobile area, Swansea will be addressed. Mayor Michael Hancock says it's going to help families get out of the area of potentially dangerous.
Who's your first call these days, Napa?
Insurance. We're in trouble with the local store. So
Why, their parts or what? Just
the
ask.
restaurants.
Oh, delivery.
Well, you know, we get parts ordered at 5.
Do you use that big one off of? No, I'm trying to think of where you're at. You wouldn't use.
See, on Colfax, we use the one down on Chase and Colfax. And we have for years.
Oh wait, that is the big one. It's down like by the hospitals and shit, kind of.
No, it's not that far.
Oh.
It's on this side of Sheridan.
But yeah, I mean, our orders go in the night before, and then 7:30, 7:45, and our first delivery, they don't get it till it's like 9:30.
Do they still have hot shot when you need something during the day?
Oh yeah, they say they do, but you know, I tell them, I said, I can't have a first delivery an hour and a half after I open.
What do they say?
I got yeah, we're trying, and it's like, well,
you got to pay more for the fucking driver.
I can call the other place, and they can get it here, so. You know, because we're Napa Gold certified, you know, Pro Auto, the whole thing. So
you spent a lot of money with them.
We used to. It was $20 a month for that one store, and this last month I think it was $5.
I used Havana Auto Parts, Napa guys, for fucking years.
That's my roar shop, dude.
And then all of a sudden, the service was still okay, but my main sales guy, not the delivery guy, he went somewhere else. His name was Sam. And then it just so happened, as soon as he left and I started having some issues, nothing big, nothing like you're talking about. Factory Auto Parts happened to open up and walk in.
Factory
Motor Parts, and they invited me out to this facility, and I took one look at it. I fucking couldn't believe it. I mean, this thing was larger than life, and they were willing. They said, no matter what you buy from them, I'll guarantee you we'll be 20% less, and if we're not, we'll adjust it right now. I mean, they made me a deal like 20% is fucking huge, and of course, I didn't move retail. I'm not, you know, that's 20%
more.
So. And it worked out perfectly, and up until I sold, that's who I used first call. But
we're using them a lot. First call, I don't use so much, but
they did my
motors
filters
out on Union and Colfax, so they can drop ship real quick.
Real quick.
WorldPack
was just WorldPack was owned by, I think, were they bought by CarQuest or Reverse? Advance. I thought they had something to do with CarQuest.
CarQuest bought Advance. Advance bought WorldPack.
Got it. Okay. That was a pretty cool deal, but that was really just coming about as I was exiting. In fact, my Castle Rock store, my first call for a while was CarQuest.
Yeah.
And then they just went.
Yeah. Well, it freaked me out. I couldn't get an oil pan for a Jaguar. The WorldPack had one the next day in a Jaguar box.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
How do they do that? Yeah.
It's on the shelf and you wanted it.
Troubleshooter.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
All right, folks, 303-713-8255. This is the only show of its kind. It's Car Friday. But any issue you have, you've been ripped off, taken advantage of, we have a lot coming up. We have David, wife filed divorce, quit claim the house to the parents. Oh, my goodness. We'll get one of our experts on. And what I'm referring to is referrallist.com. We have a list of experts, like in studio with me, Kevin Calkin. He's one of our automotive technician experts. These guys can help and answer any question you have. Where else can you go for free help? And if you've been ripped off or taken advantage of, check this out. We'll go after them. You know, we need to know the details and understand the story, which we do right on the air. But like Dan's problem with Adams Brothers or Adams and Sons Automotive in Colorado Springs, we're going to get directly involved. So if you're new to the show, hopefully by 2 o'clock today, we have this company agreeing to give him the refund he's asking for. I see no reason why he shouldn't get it, and I'll recap that in a second. But we handle everything. How about a medical power of attorney? Ray's got that question. And then Tyler, who will be next, is a warranty issue with a Ford E150, which I'm looking forward to hearing about that. 303-713-8255, 303-MARTINO. The other number, I'm not going to give out our 800 number, but we're going to start using that again. We get calls from all over the country. I don't even think people nowadays care. I mean, does anybody pay for long distance? Is that even a thing?
I think they do.
Do landlines pay for long distance? I have no idea.
No.
I also want to give a shout-out to a man that's somewhat retired today, Peter Boyles. He did his last show on 710. I believe it's KNUS, but I could even have that wrong. And no disrespect there, but Peter was here on this station right where I sit for, I don't even know. Shannon, how many years was Peter over here?
How many years?
I mean, my God, 20 plus. When I first met Peter, it was at 13th and Lawrence, and the ownership was called J-Corps. And I was a young, strappy lad, and I wanted to do a computer show on Saturdays, and these were shows that you would buy the airtime. So I would buy the airtime, and then I would I would find an advertiser. Microsoft was mine, and Microsoft would basically pay for my show and pay for my talent doing it. And that was in 95 or 96. But they made me sit in with somebody to learn the ropes. They wanted to make sure I didn't drop the F-bomb, probably, which might have happened a few times. But the bottom line was I had to sit in with somebody before they'd let me have my own weekend show, and that someone was Peter Boyles. So it was cool. I sat in with him for a solid week. I met Jimmy Carter during that week. He was in town doing, Peter was doing an interview with him for Habitat for Humanity. And I got a funny story about that I might tell later, but it's crazy. And then on top of that, Barry Fay. Peter Boyles and Barry Fay were really good friends, and I learned a lot from Peter over the years. Honest to God, besides Martino, who honestly I have learned more from than anybody in the world, not just radio stuff. He's been a true mentor. But Peter, when it comes to radio, he used to come to our cyber cafe, my computer stores that I owned in the mid-'90s. And this is when you didn't have high-speed internet. He would come in to our cyber cafe and sit down and eat Chinese food. Talib, you probably remember these days. He'd always make one of us. He'd always make one of us run over to the Chinese place and bring him back pecan duck or whatever the hell he was eating. And he would actually sit there and chat with listeners from the cyber cafe. And of course, at the same time, he was bringing in business. He was the best endorsement I ever had in the computer business. He sold a ton of computers for me. Now, remember, this is prior. Martino was on the air back then, and Tom did not do any kind of endorsements. Now, I was on the air doing Computer Fridays with him, but Tom, because he worked for certain news stations at the time, he could not do any live endorsements. That's how long ago this was. So the only endorsement that I ran back then is Peter Boyles would talk about our computer stores. He grew that little computer store, my first one. We ended up with 3. But that first computer store, he grew from probably, I don't know, $25,000 a month, $25,000, brand new opening up, to close to $100,000 a month. And that was pretty much directly due to Peter at that point, and then Tom, of course, as well. So, you know, I never want to leave Tom out of stuff because, honestly, he's grown not just my career, but my computer stores beyond belief, my automotive stores, everything. Kevin, you know this. You deal with it, too.
Absolutely. No, we get calls every day from listeners.
Yep. So Peter was he was amazing. And, Peter, man, I love you. I miss you. I already miss him. Look at that. It's been like an hour. I heard his last show. It was kind of this and that, meaning they were reminiscing about everything in the world. I heard Dave Logan. Tom was over there, the whole gang. I love when they talk about Alan Berg, too. Some of those stories are crazy. He was quite the I didn't realize what a fancy dresser the guy was, but apparently he was always dressed to the nines. Okay, I digress, I promise. Now, here's where I want to finish up. So Dan called in. He had a problem with Adams and Sons. I keep wanting to say Adams and Company or something. He spent over $10,000 in less than a year with these guys. We had the vehicle double-checked by one of our experts, Jesse Schillinger, who I let get back to work. I get this whole thing. Dan, I think somewhere around $2,000 to $2,500 would be extremely fair. Is that that's what we're going to fight for, okay?
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
So, Deputy Doc, do you want to make this call? Or do you want me to give it to Marty? Because I already know you're dealing with that other one.
I'm dealing with some other stuff.
I got him loaded up. So, Suzanne, I don't care if it's Scott. I want someone to call these guys right away. So, if it's Scott, if it's Marty, Marty. But here's what I want them to do. So, hopefully they're taking notes. These guys already know because they talked to Jesse over at Honest Accurate what they mixed up. They charged them for warranty work. They have offered $1,000 back. To be quite honest, they have taken $10,000 from this guy, and I don't mean taken in a bad way, but they've sold him $10,000 worth of work. The differential should have never been sold. My understanding is there's about $1,500 in the differential, and then Honest Accurate had to fix some other issues that they did not do properly, something with the fuel pump and other things. I think a $2,500 refund is in order, and I truly believe that. I'm not saying they did anything wrong. We probably had some miscommunication. Let's hit this this with a little bit of sugar and spice, and everything's nice, and see if we can get it handled. So, Dan, that's what we're going to do. Hold tight. In fact, we're going to let you go to free this one line open, but we're going to reach back out to you hopefully today. I'm hoping these guys come through. They actually sound, Jesse said, look, some of the work they probably shouldn't have done and some other stuff, but they don't sound like ripoffs to me. So I'm really hoping they'll do the right thing. I'm honest to God hoping they'll do the right thing. And that's all I can say. Hold tight. All right, 303-713-8255. Hey, Ray, what's going on, man?
Hello.
Hey, Ray.
Yes, I was calling because I had medical power of attorney for my daughter, and she was in the hospital, and somehow she got off. They didn't let me know. They put her in hospice, and she died in a couple of days.
Wait a minute. You had medical... First of all, I am so sorry, Ray. This sounds horrible. How old was your daughter, and what was her name?
Her name was Laura.
And how old was she?
She was 43.
43? That is so young. I mean, my God, man. When did this happen?
She passed away on the 27th of January.
And Ray, give me an idea of what your question is, because I have to take a break, and I'm going to come back to you. But I want to understand if I need to get an attorney on what kind of attorney. What really is your question?
Well, it really is my question. I have medical power of attorney on her. And she went in the hospital. She had cancer. And she went in the hospital because her blood sugar went real low and stuff. And then they found she had, she tested positive for COVID, but she wasn't,
she wasn't obese, or she didn't have any pre-existing.
No.
But I was going to say, but she had cancer. I'm sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, she,
that's all right.
Go
ahead.
Yeah, she, her blood sugar went way down. She was real sick, and but I had power of attorney for her. The hospital didn't let me know that they took her off, normal care and put her in hospice, and they loaded up her medication. She was down to 50-something pounds or 60 pounds, and they were giving her like a full adult dose of pain medication, and it killed her right away.
Oh, so you really think this is pretty much malpractice?
Something's going on, you don't
think
you're medical power of attorney.
You're not saying that they did it intentionally.
Well, I don't know, but they had a pump on her. She was getting stuff every 10 minutes, and what I'm saying is, I believe they were giving her too much for her body size.
And what are you trying to accomplish? I mean, do you just want answers like why would they do this?
The answer I want is can a person, if they're pretty sick, they can put themselves into hospice without notifying the person that's got medical power of attorney for them?
Well, I don't think you mean can the person do it. You're saying can the facility accept that person if someone else has the power of attorney? Is that more of the question?
Yes.
I mean, if she was feeling so bad and she thought it was time, I don't see why it would be any issue that she shows up somewhere. But you're saying you should have been notified.
Yes.
All right, hold on. Oh man, what a sad story. 43 years old. Ray, hold on. I want to think about it over the break, who we're going to get up and kind of go from there. And Tyler, I owe you an apology. I thought this was going to be a real quick call with Ray, but hang in there, man, I promise. And then David, you're next. One line open, 303-713-8255, 303 Martino. And we're also, sometime this hour, we're going to get Wyatt's Towing on with some information that's going to blow you away. We've got a lot going on. My name's Mark Major. We'll be right back.
But if she's 43 years old and competent, she can make her own decisions.
But why would he have a medical power of attorney?
Well, if she's not capable of making her own decisions.
Is there any holidays coming up?
Yeah, Memorial Day is the next one.
After all, spring wasn't a ways away.
Yeah, April and May, there's no holidays. Why do you ask?
Joseph A. Lazare commercial. DUI shit.
I'm trying to think.
With no bodge.
I can't think of it.
Like plumbing. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril to the very back of the nose where
There's Mayday if you're a communist.
And then out the other nostril, flushing out new...
I see red! I'll have you to know that when I was in elementary
school, we stay healthier. Join over 2 million others and find out for yourself how refreshing and easy to use Navage is. At Navage.com, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target.
Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
You know, we all make mistakes. Maybe a DUI, shoplifting, assault. Maybe you get into a domestic altercation with your spouse or your kids, or an issue with your neighbor for that matter. But here's the bottom line. Whether you're guilty or whether you're not guilty, you have to have a good attorney representing you. We've already done all the legwork. We've done the research. We've been talking about Joseph A. Lazara for years upon years upon years. This guy is an incredible criminal defense attorney. What I love about him, he knows all the DAs, the assistants. He knows the judges. They know he's no nonsense. If you're innocent, he'll fight for you. And if you did do it, he's going to get you the best deal out there. Write this number down. Put it in your phone. 303-429-6200. 303-429-6200. Now, I want to talk about a company that I have used and I love them. In fact, I use them every year. Now, you're saying, what company would you use every year? Excel Roofing. Now you're saying, what, do you buy a new roof every year? Well, of course not. First of all, I'll probably never have to buy a new roof. You know why? Because Jay and the gang sold me a hail-proof roof. It's a synthetic material. It'll handle up to 2-inch hail. It's guaranteed for like 20 years. It's unbelievable. Does it cost a little more? Yes, but it doesn't matter. I'm never going to have to put another roof, never have to pay another deductible. So what do I do every year with them? They come out and clean my gutters. They have the best pricing on that, and I legitimately do it every single year and always will. It's a great roofing company. What I love about Excel and why I only use them is you don't pay a cent until you're content. How many contractors can say that? They don't take money up front. They don't hold you hostage to a contract. It's a great roofing company with great pricing and the best warranty, and once again, you don't pay a cent until you're content. Family owned and operated right here in Colorado. Call Jay and the guys up or check them out at excelroofing.com. That's the easiest way, excelroofing.com.
What's up, Nuggets fan?
All right, we are now Facebook and YouTube Live.
What'd you do to fix it, bro?
Fucked around, dicked around, poked around until it popped.
Medical power of attorney.
That's literally what I was doing, though.
I don't know if I can work John Fuller into this one. This poor guy, he's just sad as shit. I don't know who would know the answer to this shit. Doc, give me an idea there. I mean, you can check yourself into... I just think he's sad, man. What do you do? I mean, there is no... I'm just going to tell him like I think it is. How's that? I mean, I can't.
I think John Fuller would know.
He would know what? Have the power of attorney?
Yeah.
Hey, babe, you want to see if you can get Fuller up? It'd be for that medical power of attorney question. I can't even see.
But like you say, though, I mean, what is his end goal with this? What is he, you know?
What do you mean?
He thinks they overdosed her and she died from it.
Well, even if, I mean, I'm not trying to be cold.
Well, he thinks they shouldn't have accepted her, if I'm reading it right, which is not
been moved to
but
hospice.
My point is, if she's 43 and she's competent, she makes her own decisions. The power of attorney only comes in when the person is deemed not competent to make their own decisions.
Meaning if she was in hospice and she's knocked out,
or simply passed out, you know, or
that poor guy.
But she can make her own decision to go to hospice.
Within the first day, try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
Children's Hospital Colorado might raffle early bird.
All right. So, in the most ideal circumstance, Mark, Monday when we turn this damn thing on,
boom,
the help ID should do it all. Boom, boom, boom.
Hey, just in case there's trouble, they got you running off at noon.
Oh, thanks.
So B-Large is coming in to keep you on the air.
You the man.
Only when
we
you're
got
out
to
of
get
town.
you. Listen, man.
Huh.
We got B-Large. We got, who's the other guy that was in the other day?
A-Rod?
A-Rod. How come you're Shannon?
He's Shannon again. No, not
You know what? I am going to personally come up with your nickname.
Hey, Talib, I changed the role again, so try again and let me know. There's something wonky with it.
You must have missed it because I just came up. I'll give you the credit. Yeah.
Where am I at? 12 to 11:30.
She must have fixed it because it certainly just came
Simply floors are to grip.
Guido.
All right, 303-713-8255. Suzanne, if we could just see if we can get John Fuller on, and I want to go back to Ray after we get him on. Ray's question, he had power of attorney, at least a medical power of attorney, over his daughter, who's 43 years old, and she's passed away from cancer. But she kind of checked herself into hospice, and he's very upset that they gave her a lot of drugs that ultimately sounds like maybe killed her, at least in his opinion. I'm not sure what happened. I wasn't there. But it's kind of the only real question I have for John Fuller is if someone does have a medical power of attorney, if the other person is competent at the time, well, then I don't think it matters that he holds it. In other words, they don't have to ask him if she can still make her own decisions. If she was in a coma is where the medical power of attorney would come in. But I just want to make sure there's nothing I'm missing here because I feel bad for Ray. He just lost his kid. Let's just get him an answer. But Ray, my gut, and I'll go to you real quick. My gut is there's not going to be anything there, but I think it's willing. But I am willing to get one of our experts on, John Fuller. So hold tight, okay, man?
Okay.
All right, thank you. All right, 303-713-8255. We got one line open, 303-Martino, 303-713-8255. Now, let's go to Tyler. Tyler has an issue. Oh, by the way, we have someone working on the Adams and Sons, and Deputy Doc, have you reached out to Valvoline yet? We had an issue with them. They didn't want to give this lady any information. It sounds like they screwed up her oil filter housing, and what's going on?
I called them back, asked to speak to Ashley. She wasn't there. She's going to call me back.
All right. Well, we're going to give that a little time, but I'm a little annoyed on how that whole thing went down. I think you can sense that as well. Tyler, what is going on with you, man?
Oh, man, this is Tyler from Window Cleaning Pressure Washing. So we had our van that we used for work. We blew a motor. We threw a rod. And
hey, Tyler, when was this?
This was 4 weeks ago.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, so we've had our van down for 4 weeks now. I mean, of course, you guys know that's how we make our money is, being able to service people's homes. I've never dealt with warranties before. I've been told it's a lengthy process. It's a pain.
Hey, Tyler, let me ask a few questions. What kind of vehicle is it?
It is a 2013 Ford E150.
How many miles are on it?
Oh, we are at 128.
See, this is going to kill me. So it's going to be an aftermarket warranty. Which one is it? What's it called?
Endurance.
Endurance. That's ironic. Kevin, this is what kills me. Here's a vehicle, an E150 of all things, with 128,000 miles.
Yep, pretty average.
In that warranty, I guarantee it has a couple things. One, there's going to be a limit on how much they actually pay out. I mean, in other words, they might say after $4,000, forget it.
Yep.
But the second thing that drives me crazy is if it's a pre-existing condition, they're going to deny it based upon that. So I'm going to ask Tyler this first. What are they denying it based on? If they're denying it, I didn't even let you get to that.
Yes, so right now, I've been on and off the phone with them over the last 4 weeks right now, going back and forth, and they need this information, that information. At this point, they're pretty much just pushing us off.
Well, okay, that's one thing, but Kevin, you deal with these all the time. Let's listen to what they're asking for and tell me if it's normal. So, Tyler, go ahead. What are they asking for right now?
Yeah, so the biggest thing was, of course, they wanted to make sure VIN match, but then the biggest thing that they were asking for was they wanted the service record.
Service record.
Yeah, they wanted maintenance records, which, we're a business, so I keep all that stuff on hand.
So you've sent them?
Yes, I sent everything, and they were handwritten, so we had to go back, get them all typed up, get them authorized, all that fun stuff. And at this
wait, Tyler, you just gave me a red flag.
Handwritten. Yeah.
You just gave me a red flag. What does that mean? They're handwritten. Handwritten receipts from who?
Yeah, so I have a mechanic inside our shop that takes care of everything service related for us.
I
so
see.
Absolutely everything. He just handwrites it on logs for me and then lets me know exactly.
Okay, Tyler, I'm going to be honest with you, man. They think this is a big red flag, and you can understand that. One of the other things these companies use for outs, and I'll give you an idea of a call we had not long ago. They could produce like 10 out of the last 12 oil changes over a period of time. They couldn't find the receipt for one, nor the place that they thought they had it done find one, and they denied the entire claim based upon it. That's what these guys do, man. So when you sent them handwritten stuff saying, oh, I do it myself or one of our guys do it, that sent up a lot of red flags. So I'm not surprised they're putting you off, but where does it stand right now?
So right now we're waiting back for it. They keep pretty much pushing us off. We sent in that stuff, a week ago?
Yeah.
I followed up with them, got to the senior adjuster, and then he told me, I'll get to it when I get to it, and then just hung the phone up.
Yeah, that's what's going on. I'm telling you straight up, man. You threw a lot of red flags up there. Now, can they technically deny it based upon that? Here's what I think is going to happen next if it hasn't already happened. Have they asked for the receipts? Because you didn't manufacture your own filter. You didn't manufacture your own oil. So have they asked for the receipts or proof of purchase that are right around the same time that these oil changes were done?
Yes, and then they have all receipts attached to the document as well.
Okay, and it's all legit. It's like from wherever.
Yes, exactly.
So, Kevin, in your time dealing with aftermarket warranties, what do you think? Have you heard of Endurance, first of all?
Yeah, no, we've done a little work for them. They're not horrible.
Good.
But, we've had the same issue with handwritten receipts and stuff along that line. Now, Tyler, are you working with a shop, or are you guys going to put the motor in yourself?
Yeah, so we have it at Brighton Ford right now.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, well, the dealer should be able to step up and help push through, but yeah, we wouldn't go a month. I mean, we've had a couple back and forth where they're asking for more info. Because of the handwritten stuff, that is a definite red flag.
Here's what you need to do.
They have to give you an answer. They can't.
Yeah, they can't put you off forever. Let's do it. I'm going to give you a good piece of advice, man. Let's give them another week. If they deny it, then I'm going to put a deputy on it. Right now, I don't think that makes any sense. But here's the key part if they deny it. You ready for this, man? Listen to what I'm saying. When they say we're not going to cover it, say where in my agreement, where in that contract, where in that insurance you sold me, does it say you're not going to cover it for the reason you just gave me? You make them point out exactly why they're declining the coverage. That's very important. In other words, if they say, because you lacked maintenance, you go, where did I lack maintenance? Where does it say in the contract I can't give you a handwritten receipt? Where does it say I can't do my own oil changes? Where does it say this? Where does it say that? Whatever they deny it for, I need to understand why they deny it. Then I need to have a copy of the actual agreement. Got it?
That sounds perfect to do that.
Make sure you ask that, but give them a little bit of time. I think, honestly, and I'm looking at Kevin, and Kevin deals with these kind of claims all the time. All of them. Some of them suck. When he says they're not bad, that means they're generally probably somewhat legit. They're hard to deal with. You got to jump through the hoops. You got to do all that stuff. But it sounds like these guys might come through. But you put up a lot of red flags, brother, when you send in handwritten receipts. And let's talk car warranties for a second. Then I promise we're going to come back. David filed for divorce. It sounds like the wife quitclaimed the house right before. I'd like to get Bonnie Shields on about this. I think Bonnie would be great if she's in town. Or maybe Harris Family Law. We should get one of our experts on for this. That's a great question. And I'm dying to know who owned the house. Did they both own it? We're going to find all that out. But these aftermarket warranties, I had one in my inbox yesterday. Which one should I buy? My opinion, you don't buy any of them. None of them. Zero, zip, zilch. Don't buy them. There's too many reasons they can turn you down. There is too many reasons. I thought that guy, Tyler, was going to say pre-existing. That's the biggest one we hear on the show. If you have a vehicle that's 10 years old with 128,000 miles, I don't care what happens to it. What would not be pre-existing? The starter went out. Well, It's been used 1,000 times. It's due to go out. That, my friend, is an issue we don't cover. It's crazy. I've heard every excuse in the world. Some were a lot worse. One entire company went out leaving people high and dry.
Exactly.
I think they were based out of Hawaii. They screwed so many people across the country, it was insane. Mm-hmm. The warranty is only as good as the company that stands behind it. And my God, folks, if you don't look and read it, you don't even know what they cover. And no one reads this stuff. The guy at the sales counter, especially if you buy a new vehicle, why would you buy a new vehicle that has a 3-year, 36,000-mile, or a 5-year, 60, or 8-year, 80, whatever it is, and then think that far down the road and drop another $3 or $4 grand into a vehicle that comes with a warranty? I can't understand why you would do that.
Or you put $3 or $4 grand in a warranty that caps at 5.
Or it caps at 5. That's Kevin, I can't believe people do that.
Yes.
They'll literally pay $3 or $4 grand, and if you read the fine print, they only cover up to $4 grand.
Yep.
All right.
Well, that's what P.T. Barnum said. There's a sucker born every minute.
There is a sucker born every minute, and we tend to find them. 303-713-8255. Everybody hold tight. We're done with Tyler for now. He's got marching orders. David, Ray, Dan, one line open, 303 Martino.
I will bet you that David put the house in his wife's name because to prevent...
It's not excelling, Joe. Oh, you gave me it.
Right, Mark?
Hold on. Give me 60, please. Oh, no, I'm good. I know both these.
I guarantee David put his house
like
in his
yours.
wife's name to protect himself, and now he's screwed. Well, he's not screwed, but I guarantee that the house is in his wife's name.
It's such a rookie move, the liquidating assets, prior to just doesn't work.
God, I wish I had more time to talk about Simply.
When we were separated before our divorce became final, my wife called me up in tears. She said, I'm so sad. I don't know what to do. I'm afraid to buy underwear.
Hold on, Doc.
You're looking to save money. With Wise from Allstate, the smoother you drive, the more you can save. And Allstate Better Protection costs a whole lot less. Visit Allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
All right, check out the best prices, the best service, and they bring the entire showroom right to your house or business. It's simplyfloorsinc.com. It can be LVT, it can be carpet for a rental, it could be carpet for a $2 million house. These guys got all the flooring covered, and I'm not kidding with that. And their pricing, you can save up to 40% from the big box stores. We've been talking about Buddy and Karen for years. Simplyfloorsinc.com. It all starts right there. Simplyfloorsinc.com. Now, when I needed new floors, of course, I went to simplyfloorsinc.com. We've used them numerous times. When I needed new granite, who did I go to? Say it with me. Yeah, you know who it is. The Art of Granite, Mitch Floria. This guy is incredible. This guy's an artist. He can turn your kitchen into the most beautiful one in the neighborhood, and his pricing is unbelievable. And right now, if you get new cabinets and countertops from him, he'll do the bathroom for free. For free. TheArtofGranite.com is a website. TheArtofGranite.com.
The True Crime Pod.
No, that whole freeze, when I went through my divorce, it was such a pain. I had an old junker truck. We had a shop truck that finally so I wanted to drop the insurance on it and put another truck on there. Well, I had to call my attorney to call her attorney to get, so it cost me $500 to change insurance on the vehicle.
Dang,
Which it would have been cheaper to just
insurance.
It would have been cheaper to just pay for insurance on the car.
We had no attorneys. We just did a mediation.
I went in the first day, and she wanted everything, and I was like, okay. But there's no alimony, no nothing, because you have everything. You can have a business. All I want is my toolbox and my pickup. You can have the rest.
What kind of business? You in the
same one I got now.
Kevin said, just let me get the fuck out.
Really? She wanted the business?
Well, yeah. And I was like, well, I don't care. I mean, it's not the building. It's not the location. It's me.
Right.
So, yeah, you can have it. I have no problem with it. I said, I'll get customers. You want a non-compete? I'll give you a non-compete. I don't care. Sign, here, and here. You want it. Well, her lawyer's like, wait a minute here, maybe we should, you know.
It was too easy.
It was too easy, so then that's when it just got stupid.
What's your highest score over at Topgolf, man? Just regular Topgolf.
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh. That sounds like a bunch
No,
of
no,
shit.
no, no.
It sounds like it's pretty low. How do they score? Topgolf?
High.
I've never been over there. I mean, how?
So you got there's 10 games or 20 games, but Topgolf, the game, there's these huge holes, and then each hole has got a different rings around it. So the closer to the center, the better. So if the ball goes directly in the center, that might be 20 points. If the hole is like yellow, it might be 50 yards out. If it's white, it could be 150 yards out. So the white center would be worth more than the yellow center. So it's basically how close to the hole and how far you're hitting the ball. Or if you can hit the back wall within a radius.
My feeling is, you know, when I played with my son, if I beat him by 1 point, I'm happy. It's like when I play with my buddies, I don't care if I get 13 on a hole, as long as my buddy gets a 14. You know, it's all relative.
Susanna, I got a little bug yesterday. She beat me in bowling.
Wow.
She fucking clobbered me too, man. I don't think she's ever beat me before.
That's because she's become healthier than he is in the last couple of years.
Fuck.
She's stronger than him now.
I can still beat her in arm wrestling.
Yeah, only because you got a bigger arm.
I couldn't believe it, though. I couldn't fucking believe it. That arm wrestling is weird shit anyway. We had a football coach. He was, I don't know, 6 foot, 210, 205, lanky. You know, kind of like Dave Logan.
Yeah.
You know, big but not
tall, skinny dude.
Yeah. And he was taking 300-pound guys and like throwing them out of a chair. You know, with the leverage, it's just crazy.
A lot of it too is in your head, man.
Yeah.
You got to be psyched to go.
Yeah. But no, you get these guys down in the, they're eating the weights in the weight room, and he can beat them.
Mike Tyson, you should read his book, man. I didn't read it. I heard some of it on tape, but the one thing that's so true, when he had his run of not losing, period, he knew he wasn't going to lose.
Yeah.
It's when he started doubting himself is where his shit.
Well, Ali was the greatest at that. Ali knew he wasn't going to lose, wasn't going to get hit.
All right, 303-713-8255. You've been ripped off or taken advantage of. This is it. This is a show for you. I want to hear from you. 303-Martino. I'll tell you when a line's open. Now, let's go to, we still have Ray up. Ray, we are trying to get an attorney on for you. Suzanne, maybe we should get Ray's number. When we get Blake or someone, we'll get him back up. That way we can free that line up. 303-Martino. Now, David, I'm curious what your question is. Go ahead, sir.
Hi, I'm actually a VFW post commander in the local area, and I'm calling on behalf of a veteran we're trying to help.
Got it.
He's also a personal friend. I've known him since high school. But the problem is his wife left for Louisiana October 4th of last year seeking mental health with her parents being the support network.
What do you mean? So, hold on. David, couple questions. How old is this guy, and what's his name, the guy you're helping?
His name's Bill. He's 45 years old.
Okay, Bill's 45. How old was his wife, and how long were they married?
They've been married for probably 10-plus years.
Okay, and she's roughly the same age?
She's a few years older.
Okay, but in October, would you say she was having like a mental breakdown? I mean, why did she leave in October?
They had her oldest living son from a previous marriage died.
Okay, so a traumatic experience. So she left for what reason?
Seek mental health back in Louisiana, where we're all from originally.
Okay.
Her parents are still down there, and
was her intention to leave and come back?
That's where it gets convoluted.
All right, go ahead.
A compounding problem. So he's also was out on workman's comp at the time for an injury, which is since the time's run out, so they forced him to resign. So he also has no income for the past 4 months. They also did since he was on workman's comp, a deferment plan for the COVID-19 thing for the mortgage on the house and property.
Ugh.
Well, it came due And basically, December time frame, they said, well, we want our entire year plus interest. And so she told him, well, let's quit claim the deed the property over to her parents. The parents pay off the loan, and they'll just pay her parents the mortgage payment.
Well, they could have. I'm just wait a second though. So, but that's how she presented it to Bill.
Yep.
I mean, her parents could have just paid off the loan or got him caught up. Why would he agree to? Why even the quit claim part? I'm sure because it sounds like she was giving him the okie doke. But is that the whole deal?
Not exactly sure. All the reasoning, he was trusting his wife, according to what he was telling me.
Okay, so what happened? Did he agree to it, and they quit claimed it over to her parents?
That's correct.
And did
However, here's the...
Hold on. Did her parents actually pay the loan off?
No.
Okay, keep going.
Here's the dilemma with that.
This is horrible.
Yeah, this is a VA loan. I'm having a friend trying to research it personally.
Does Bill understand? Does Bill understand he still owes for the loan, but he doesn't even own the house anymore? That's what a bitch she is.
Pretty much. Yeah, he realized this come February 15th when she tells him she wants a divorce.
Oh my God.
And now the lawyer who did the quitclaim deed, who's also a partner with the firm who's doing the divorcing.
How long? Hold on, David. I'm getting a good picture of this. How long after the quitclaim was filed did the divorce get filed?
The divorce was filed on March 4th. Basically, she filed under Louisiana law, which requires for couples to be separated legally for 6 months prior to, unless you have 2 kids, which they do, or excuse me, kids, in which they have 2 children together, you have to wait 12 months. And so,
all right, hold on. This I still say this is a marital asset. Hold on. As of right now, though, where does it stand? Like, is the final decree in? What's going on? Where are we at?
No, final decree is not in at all.
Okay. Is there court dates coming up? Does he have an attorney?
That's what I'm trying. One of the reasons why I'm trying to call is figure out getting him help now.
All right, hold on. You are a good friend. David, you are a good friend to this man. You hold on. Suzanne, either Harris Family Law or Bonnie. This poor guy, Bill, is getting just totally screwed by this lady. I mean, her parents could have paid it off. I don't think there was any intention there. Now, I'd love to hear her side. That's the other thing. But I'm here to help Bill right now because they're the ones that called. But I would love to hear what's going through her brain. You know, I don't know if Bill, doesn't work. I mean, it sounded like he didn't, but he sounded like he was hurt on the job as well. I mean, I, honest to God, don't know what's going there. I just don't. You know what I need is some Panacea. Seriously, real CBD that works.
It fixes a lot.
Have you guys tried this, Talib? Do you take the Panacea for pain? I mean, seriously, right now.
I take Panacea CBD daily.
Daily?
Daily.
Suzanne, you use Panacea every single day, don't you?
I sure do.
But you don't use it like a lot of people are thinking. What do you use?
I use their face products, which you know me, I've never used face products in the past.
We've been married 30 years. I've never seen a use of face product. Here's what I love about Panacea. You guys ready for this? Seed to sale. They control every single aspect of their product. Every single aspect. If you go to realcbdthatworks.com and you use the promo code TOM, guess what you get? 30% off. You got to check these guys out. Hold tight.
This report is sponsored by Dairy Queen. A couple of things to fill you in on this morning. In Boulder, a disabled vehicle on westbound 36 as you're approaching Baseline Road. The left lane blocked and we're seeing stop and go speeds from
We're almost 2 hours in.
The Flat Canyon Road. 2 police SUVs and a tow truck off on the left shoulder just after Chatfield. An accident westbound Hamden as you get to 7th Street. That one doesn't seem to slow you down too much. Your Fox 31 pinpoint weather. It was clouds, supposed to clear up and sunny and into upper 50 today. Mostly clear 33 tonight, mostly sunny and under 70 tomorrow, and a chance of showers Sunday afternoon. Otherwise, mostly cloudy and 60. Right now, mostly cloudy 45. With your impact traffic and weather, Kate Mitchell, 6:30 KL.
DQ presents Picture This. You
stand before the new signature stack burger menu at DQ. 5 cheeseburgers with 100% real seasoned beef, like the loaded A1 stack burger. And your mouth wonders, where have you been all my life? DQ. Happy tastes good.
Rocky Mountain IV Medics. You've heard of these places where you can go and you can get an IV like right in their establishment. Well, these guys at Rocky Mountain IV come to your house. Maybe you had a few too many to drink last night and you got a hangover. You want to get refreshed and you want to get there quick. Maybe you're just low, not good at taking vitamins or eating right. These guys can come out and hook you up to an IV and pump you full of all the good stuff, vitamins and minerals, and my goodness, they can just hydrate you, and that's the number one thing there, and they can do it quick, and they come to you for the same price as going to other places. 720-987-2155. You got to check them out. RockyMountainIVMedics.com. Now, here's a guy that can save your assets. That's right, Blake Harris. I love Blake. I've used him personally. He actually did a trust for myself, and he did one for my parents as well. This man can do virtually anything you need. He protects your assets. He can do lawsuit prevention. He can do wills, power of attorneys. He can even help you with your assets if you find yourself on Medicare at some points. Beneficiaries deeds, medical directive, power of attorneys, trust, wills. You get the idea. And what I love about Blake, everything is up front. I talked to him. He told me how much. I agreed to the price. He did it. I paid him that exact amount. Flat rate pricing. 833-ASK-BLAKE. 833-ASK-BLAKE. Frank Duran, the real estate man, how I love thee. And I am not kidding. I have used Frank so many times now. He saved me a fortune, and I mean a small fortune, buying my house out in Franktown. Best negotiator I've ever met, bar none. And I'll tell you why, because he's sneaky. He comes off, well, he is the nicest guy in the world. But this guy, you don't want him negotiating on the other side. You want to hire him. I'm not kidding. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. Check him out right now. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com.
Do you follow other crypto, or you just like Ethereum, Bitcoin?
I've probably got
He's into it.
a little piece of maybe 20
Oh, really?
different.
Solana?
I've got a little bit of Solana.
That's an intriguing one.
Solana?
Yeah.
Whose is it?
Who's it? Solana.
Is that a person?
No, that's the name there.
I mean, who? Their claim to fame is they can do what Bitcoin can do, but 20 times faster and 100 times cheaper. Yeah.
Yeah,
basically. That's their plan.
I have Bonnie, but she's got to be off right at noon. Are you going to be able to squeeze her in that next little segment we're doing, or are you sure?
Yeah,
significantly.
Can I tell her what it's about?
Cheaper.
Just get her on. She'll listen. I mean, yeah, you can tell her what it's about.
Okay, what's it about?
I knew you were going to ask that. Wife transferred the house to her parents.
I got about 20 of them in there.
And then files for divorce.
I haven't invested heavy in any of them. I'm just watching it all, do what it's going to do, and then.
It sounds like he's trying to quit playing.
I know.
Definitely coming back.
So they quit playing that.
Yeah. Well, it's so hard because it doesn't, you know.
And then you just kick back and look at a whole year, and you can see who's on the rise.
You got any Shiba?
I cashed out on Shiba.
That's tempting.
Man, it's very tempting. And
just buy $1,000 worth and just leave it there.
Every time it dips, that's what I feel like.
But what I understand is you got to buy another one. To buy Shiba, you got to buy like Ethereum and trade it for Shiba or something. I was reading it's complicated.
If that's new because I got my Shiba with my Ethereum. I did trade it out.
Okay.
That's how I got it.
That's the only way you can buy it, is what I understand.
That's how I got it. But
to get out of it, you got to go back the other way too.
When it doubled out on me, I just sold it off. Okay, and took my profit, put it someplace else, and just sold it off. You know, I didn't try to trade it out. I just got rid of it. Okay.
I don't trust any of that shit.
And I kept some.
Well, what do you trust on the Dow?
Walmart.
Yeah.
It worked there.
I own so much fucking Walmart.
And Costco, I hope.
I used to own Costco. I took a profit on Costco a long time ago, but I used to buy a shit. I would trust Costco right now. Costco ain't going down. How's that? At least not over any period.
My son's made a lot of money on Tesla.
I use Coinbase.
I fucked up on Tesla so bad.
As a gateway only. I stay the fuck away from Coinbase with my actual holdings.
I'll tell you what I just bought, and I'm fucking killing on it, and it's been in the last 10 days, right after the Max or not Max, God, thank God it wasn't a Max.
It was Boeing.
Yeah, right after the Boeing, the 737 went down in China. That stock tanked, man. I bought a shitload right around 140. I think it's already 190 now. I knew, once I knew it wasn't the Max, I knew it was going to be pilot error or maintenance.
It's probably pilot error. It went down that quick.
Did you see the clip of that going down?
Yep.
Just straight. Remember the one guy that basically committed suicide?
With that plane, yeah.
All right, we have a ton going on. Listen, next hour
when we come back, we're going to have the owner of Wyatt's Towing. And we're going to go through some legislation that's up there. So you got any questions for Wyatt's Towing? This poor guy Trevor, I'd hate to be in that business because, man, you're never the good guy in the towing business. And we were trying to get Joel on. I'd love to hear from Joel still. He's the owner of Park It Right. We get numerous complaints on them. But Trevor's going to be on. We're going to talk about new legislation, very consumer-friendly, but it's scary as hell if you think about it. Right now, though, I need to get back to David. David, I've got one of my experts up, Bonnie Shields. She's a family law attorney that's been on the referral list forever. I love Bonnie. She's just a great woman. Really, if you hire Bonnie, you're not going to do any better, and I can honestly say that, and hopefully Suzanne never hires her, so that would really suck. But anyhow, Bonnie, I want to put it to you quick because we're constrained on time. So they're not divorced yet, but David and his wife quit-claimed their house over to her parents. Now, he thought because they were behind on the mortgage, the agreement was they were going to quit-claim it over, the parents were going to refinance it or pay off the loan, and everything was going to be okay. They wouldn't lose the house. What happened in reality is the wife took off to go back to Louisiana where her parents are after they quit-claimed the house and filed for divorce. Now, the question is simple. Is that still a marital asset? I mean, even if they both agreed to quit claim it, or did this guy screw himself?
Well, he might have screwed himself. If it had been just her that quit claimed some of the parents and then filed divorce real quick, that's never going to fly. To just dump assets in contemplation of a divorce, that won't fly.
Bonnie,
but it may have to be more of a civil lawsuit to go after those parents to get that back. If there was some understanding, we're quit claiming it to you and you're going to do blah, blah, blah. If they didn't do what they're supposed to do, then he may have to go through the civil courts for that.
Bonnie, I'm going to ask the caller if there is anything in writing or any kind of communications, and I agree with you. But let me throw something else in here. This guy was really down on his luck through COVID. He got hurt at work. He was on workman's comp. He ended up losing his job, was unemployed for a while. Does his mental state in the family courts come into play here?
That could certainly come into play if we were discussing an issue having to do with maintenance or alimony, his inability to work or something like that. So, yes, it's possible.
David, do you have any questions for Bonnie Shields? And do you know if your friend has anything in writing or anything recorded what the intention of the quit claim was?
I don't think he does. I think it's all based on conversations. I had him start documenting time frames of what was said, what was discussed on those dates and about those times. And now any conversations he has with them are supposed to be recorded. But she did make a statement last week when he actually said he intended to seek counsel after they're pushing, hey, you don't have to go get counsel. We'll take care of everything. And when he responded, no, I'm trying to get some help to get counsel, which my BFW post is trying to raise money for.
Is this in Louisiana, by the way? Where was the divorce filed?
It's farther than Louisiana.
He has got to find an attorney out there. Bonnie Shields, I really appreciate it, Bonnie. I think you gave the information we kind of knew but wanted to hear. And David, I'm telling you, man, you've got to help this guy get some counsel. He's got to talk about his mental state. And this might not be a family law attorney like Bonnie said. You might have to find someone to argue that she basically screwed him over and lied to him. Bonnie Shields, by the way, any issues, family, divorce, 303-798-1927.
It's your mom Mary here to tell you about...
Damn it. The fucking end of that comes too quick, god damn it.
You talk too slow.
Guess so.
Speak up, I didn't hear you.
Should I be a little louder?
I don't think volume is the issue. It's content that's the issue.
That poor guy.
Yeah.
She okeyed him, man. He was in a bad way. And she's like, hey, let's do this. And then she's like,
said,
fuck
oh,
you.
my goodness, you're down? You're on the ground?
Yeah, but you're only here.
Come up.
I'll tell you, one of the worst divorces I know of was Marky Mark, man. Budget. That fucking thing. He went through her, went through hell and stuck with her through DUIs, all kinds of shit. And then when he thinks everything's going good one day, gone. Just left in one morning. I think they went out to, this is over a year ago. I think they went out to dinner the night before, and everything was great. He wakes up in the morning, she's getting in the car with the suitcase because I'm leaving you. That was it. Had the divorce papers ready, standing there. It's like a fucking movie. After he put up with her fucking shenanigans forever.
She's my buddy who's out.
Oh my God, is she crazy?
She and the daughter brought the daughter's car to me because they get tired of getting jacked around over at Mark's.
I don't even know what you say to that.
I like,
yeah, what do you say? Well, I mean, I don't want to work on your car.
That's when COVID first started, and everybody's masking up, and, by law. And she and the daughter and the kid, the neighbor all come in. Nothing. I said, you got to put my... No, we don't.
I know it's bad. There was a point where, fuck, man, we were in Vegas when that shit shut down. I was fucking terrified, man.
That was weird.
It was weird, dude, because they were making it sound like if you get this shit, you're going to fucking croak.
Drop dead walking down the street.
And then the next sentence would be, we don't know what's going on. And you're like, these motherfuckers don't know what's going on? Then you find out they truly didn't know what was going on.
They still don't know what's going on.
They still don't know what's going on.
The masks work, the masks don't work.
So I've always said the only good thing Putin has done is he got rid of COVID. COVID's fucking gone since Putin invaded.
Burned it right on the mouth.
Yeah, shot it.
Kenny.
They killed Kenny.
Hey, hey, babe. Maybe Kenny would get found fast. Oh, I can't see her because of the lighting. I can't see her at all.
Turn it down.
Can I?
Yeah, I don't care. You know that guy keeps it pitch black in this spot.
Well, when I was doing KOA at night, I had no lights.
I
Zero.
remember.
Oh, that was yeah, you're right. Same shit.
Yeah, I remember sitting over there off of Yosemite in that little dark room.
I had zero. The only lights would be the screen. I'd love doing that late night shit on KOA, man. I get
some weird calls, don't you?
Oh, it was so fun. Then you get calls from like Arizona and Flagstaff and New Mexico and fucking everywhere, man. It's so crazy how far that reaches at night. It's half the country.
You have to realize at night people either want real information or they just want raw entertainment.
They just want fun, man, at that show. I had a guy call in, he's like, man, the restaurant, I'm a black dude, and the restaurant down the street, it's a white guy, and he's calling his hamburger the ghetto burger, and I think that's bullshit, man. But you'd never think that'd be a good topic, but it took off like a rocket. Like, can a white guy call his hamburger a ghetto burger and get away with it? But more importantly, what's on this ghetto burger? Fuck, that was like 20 years ago.
Just a laid-back phone show
with no sugar, ghetto juice.
No, that was weeknights on KOA.
I remember we used to go hunting up on the flat tops, And if you get up high enough, you can turn the radio on and listen to like baseball games coming from San Francisco.
It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
So what does it cost for half an hour of radio time?
Back in the day or now?
Well, like now. Let's say you want to have a show from 3 a.m. to 3:30 a.m.
Well, it depends.
Yeah, that late night.
Brokered shows are only weekends. Like my KOA, that was all they paid me to do. The computer shows I bought back then were brokerage shows, and back then I paid, I want to say $500 for 2 hours, and then like $100 for 2 hours. But that station was so tiny. Nowadays, I think for 1 hour on the weekend on this station, at a decent time, I don't know about the middle of the night, but like let's say 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. 1 hour is going to be about $50,000 a year, so $1,000 a week, maybe a little more for 1 hour.
Right.
Yeah, a couple $100 a show.
But when you do that to make money on it, generally you would never do like my automotive and computer shows. I would pay that, but then Microsoft paid me fucking triple. So I'd make all my money through Microsoft, even though I was doing it. With automotive, it was the same way. I had about 10 different sponsors.
That paid you enough.
Yes. Paid me, yeah. I did really good on that show. It got to the point, though, you have no weekends. That's the problem. You literally, if mine was a live show, it wasn't pre-recorded. But the old computer show was a trip because we'd be at 13th and Lawrence for 2 hours. Then we would drive to basically down kind of around here by Micro Center is where one of the old studios was, 760.
Yeah, right there on Yosemite.
And that place was a fuck dungeon. I had a shtick, Doc. I would call the White House as soon as I landed there every night. Like right, it was 11 o'clock at night. I'd literally call the White House while Clinton was in office, and the switchboard, of course, would answer. They fucking answered 24/7. And I'd always ask to call. I want to talk to Bill. You know, we want his opinion on something. And
what would they say?
He's not available.
They were polite, yeah.
But I did it for so long. All of a sudden, I got a call from the White House at my house. Someone at the station gave them the number when they started digging in, and they were like, "We're done with this little bit of yours, sir." Who's Craig, babe? Welcome to the show, the only show of its kind. We're here to solve problems, answer your questions. Honestly, we're here to make your life a little bit better. You've been ripped off or taken advantage of. Our goal, and when I say our, I'm talking all of us. We have deputies in all kinds of fields. We have Deputy Doc. You can guess what he did for years. Thousands of babies. He's one of our experts. Sits next to us every single day. On top of that, we have Scott. Deputy Scott's a great guy. His background is more accounting, which is really cool. Then we got Smarty Marty. Smarty Marty has solved more problems than any of them, and I hate to say that, Doc, but he's tenacious. In fact, I think he lives and breathes the show. Doc likes golf, so maybe if you gave a golf doc, maybe we could do maybe you could step it up.
Do I have to give up poker too?
And poker, that's true. I forgot. And it's just crazy. We have a list of deputies that help us left and right. And then referralist.com. We have attorneys. We have doctors. We have you name it on referralist.com. Those are the good guys. But to say what we really do is we go after the bad guys. If you've been taken advantage of, you've been ripped off, this, my friend, is the show for you. 303-713-8255. I'll tell you when a line's open. We're going to start this hour off. There was a 9 News article I read. Actually, a listener sent it to me last week, and I thought it was a joke at first. There's been legislation talked about, and in fact, I'm not even sure where the legislation is at. I know it hasn't been voted for. I don't know if there's a vote on it. I assume the governor would just have to approve it, but it's been introduced at minimum. And I read some of the things, and it's got to do with towing.
And in I think all of Colorado, it might be just Denver, but I'm going to go to Trevor Forbes in a second, who is the CEO of Wyatt's Towing. And everybody's seen their signs. They're in apartment complexes, they're on businesses. I would say, and I'm not sure, I'll ask Trevor, I would say Wyatt's is probably the largest tow truck company in Colorado, but I'm not even sure about that. But because he owns a massive tow truck company, this is pretty disturbing legislation for him. Now, we're a consumer show, but I need to say something. When I read on this 9 News article, or maybe it was Fox 31, what they're thinking about, I'm going to just tell you a few of them, and I'm going to give you my opinion why they're so insane. Then we'll go to Trevor, and we'll take calls on it. Unfortunately, lines are all taken up, so maybe that's not going to happen, but we'll figure it out. We're going to figure it out so we can get some consumer calls on it. But here's one of the things that drives me absolutely insane. They're saying you got to put a 24-hour notice. So if someone illegally parks on your private property, such as, I would assume, a restaurant or an apartment complex or anything. And we get calls all the time if you listen to the show. Hey, a friend of mine came over to my apartment. Next thing you know, the vehicle's towed. Now, imagine if you had to put a 24-hour notice before you could tow a vehicle. If I own Burger King downtown and someone is taking up one of my spots, that means a customer can't park there, and the best I can do is give them 24 hours notice. Think of how ludicrous that is. What does that mean? No one hangs out at Burger King for 24 hours. Think about that in an apartment lot. In an apartment lot, yes, you don't want someone in your spot, but more importantly, how about a condominium area, or how about a townhouse where I own my own parking space outside? Some numbnuts parks in it. I can't even have them towed out of my own spot. I got to give them a 24-hour notice. Now, here's where that would benefit me and everybody out there. You ready? I don't own an apartment complex, but I do go to the Pepsi Center, or whatever the hell it's called now. The Ball, what is it, Ball Arena?
Ball Arena.
I do go there. So I could, park at Burger King?
Well, it's called a free parking permit.
Yeah, you basically have a free parking for 24 hours. So now I can park anywhere right across the street at Metro. I could go park at Metro. I think I can. I mean, I don't know. That's how this 9 News article made it sound. You got to give a 24-hour notice. Now, on top of that, let's say someone does park somewhere. According to this article, and we'll ask Trevor in a second, if it is towed the next day, so they give me a 24-hour notice, I don't move it. They actually tow it. So let's say Wyatt's comes and tows it. I own my condo, or I live in the apartment. Someone's taken my spot. They give them notice. They still don't move. They tow it. This part's unbelievable. In fact, sit down. This is insanity. It's insanity. I can't believe how crazy this world's gotten. If it is impounded and you go to pick it up, you ready? And you can't afford it, they got to give it back to you. Now, where's the litmus test? I simply wouldn't be able to afford it. I don't care. If I was Bill Gates, I'd say, hey, you told my Ferrari last night, I can't afford to pick it up. Give me the keys. And they have to give you the keys. That's how I read this article. I need to calm down a little, and let's dig into the reality of this. And I'm going to do that with Trevor Forbes, the owner and CEO of Wyatt's Towing. Trevor, the things that I have brought up so far, are they correct? And if they're not, please feel free to correct me. My information came from an article I read online.
Yeah, hey Tom. First, thanks for having me on. And just one quick thing. I'm the CEO, and I have some partners, so I'm not the owner.
Got it.
Just to make sure. So, yes, I mean, to be honest, Tom, everything you said is 100% true. Now, another thing I want to say real quick, on behalf of the towing industry and frankly just myself, I just want everyone to know that it's not that we think that there aren't some really good laws that could protect consumers that could be put in place. We certainly do. There are some areas where bad towers could exploit people.
Well, Trevor, one of the ones that I read in that same article, and you bring up an interesting point. And ironically, I think you guys already do it at Wyatt's Towing. But taking a picture of the vehicle before and after, I believe I read that. Do you guys do that already?
We do. So we take pictures of every vehicle.
And I think that's a smart regulation to put in.
We agree, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. The problem, frankly, with this bill, I think that the sponsors who are putting forth this bill, I don't think it's that they're trying to do the wrong thing. They have not engaged with towers or law enforcement agencies or any of the people that know these laws and how it works. And so it's basically a bunch of second and third order effects that they didn't plan on. And it's just kind of sloppy legislation to be transparent. But yeah, I mean, you're right.
I don't think it has a chance in hell of passing. I honest to God don't. I mean, I can't imagine. Where does the actual legislation sit right now?
So it's going to committee next week. And basically, if citizens look at this and say, this is dumb, like I should be able to park in my reserved spot and handicapped people should be able to park in their spots and stuff like that. And they reach out to their legislators and say, hey, like this is dumb. Like let's make good legislation that helps people, not it destroys industries. Then I think it won't pass.
Well, it's not just the industry. Listen, that's the whole problem with this. I understand your industry's hated. They are. I mean, there's no doubt about it. We take calls on it every single day. Hey, I don't have any money. They towed my car, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't fair. I get it. It happens. And sometimes, you know what? The tower was wrong. There's no doubt about it. But a lot of times the tower's right. But beyond that, what happens if I do own my own place? What happens if I am that Burger King and everybody's parking there with a notice? What happens if I do own an apartment complex and I've got 50 units and I only got 50 spots and the people at the apartment complex next door are parking over there? I mean, it's going to ruin more than just the industry of towing. It can ruin the industry of anybody that's got parking anywhere.
Yeah, that's 100% true. And, folks that need handicap spots, for example, if this law passes, there are no longer handicap spots. Because
I bet they don't cover meters in Denver. I bet if you park at a meter, I bet you anything in the world, if you park at a meter and don't put your quarter in it, the mayor's going to come snag your car. And honestly, you might sell it after he takes it. But here's the deal. Does it cover city streets or is this just private lots?
This only covers private property.
God, that kills me. That's like Congress when they passed the Obama health care, and the only people that don't have to follow it, of course, is the people that pass the law. That drives me insane. So Trevor, what do we do to fight this? I mean, I'm not. There is some good things that should be done. My guess is this is going to come down to reality. Do you think so?
I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I used to think that it would, but at the end of the day, the legislator is a Democrat legislator, and it's a Democrat bill. And often I fear that party lines get voted on. Now, if citizens reach out and let their lawmakers know that, like, hey, we care about this, and this is dumb, then they'll pay attention and they'll vote the right way. But if you don't, then they're not.
It's such a crazy thing. There's a lot of things that could be done. I'll give you an example of one. I don't think you should be able to tow a vehicle because the tags are out of date. Forget about COVID, even pre-COVID. I don't think you should be able to do that. Now, maybe the city, if it's a nuisance or something along those lines. But if you're trolling through a parking lot in an apartment complex and there's a bunch of out-of-date tags, I don't think that's anybody's business. I honestly don't. But I want to ask you about that, Trevor. How does that generally work? We see your signs everywhere. So if there's an apartment complex you guys patrol, who makes the rules? Does the HOA come to you and say, here's our rules, we want you to patrol it? Do you make the rules? How does it typically work?
Yes, that's a great question, and it's a common misconception. We do not make the rules. So the property owner, which would be the HOA or the apartment complex or the store owner, they make the rules. So they decide what gets towed when and why. Now, to your point, so the tow company does not. We literally are just a tool.
So if I owned a complex and I said, hey, Trevor, here's what we'd like to do. We've got these complexes, if someone doesn't have our parking pass and they're parked in someone else's, we want it towed. But if they have expired tags, we don't want it towed. Or if the expired tag is over 5 months, we want it towed. I set what's done.
That is 100% correct.
And that's very strange because you're in a strange industry where you guys are always going to get the blame. Instead of blaming the HOA, if it's a condo or townhome, or the apartment, the management company, they always blame you guys where they should be screaming at that management company or whoever's making the actual rules and regulation.
Yeah, that is true, but I will say part of our job, I just be honest with you, is to be the bad guy, right? So,
yeah. For them, you're the fall guy, not necessarily the bad guy, the fall guy.
Yeah, And you know, our drive, we have, you know, secure facilities and our drivers get to leave. But as a practical matter from a safety standpoint, you know, property managers at apartment complexes often live on property. And so it needs to be that the person is like associates that towing situation with us, not the property manager, because it creates a real safety hazard. I mean, Tom, actually in the last 12 months, there have been 2 tow truck drivers murdered in Denver, like while on the job because they were towing someone's car. Like, imagine if now, like the current law actually now says, hey, that property owner or manager has to physically be present when the car is being towed. So now at 2 a.m., when a drunk person comes out of their apartment and they're getting towed for being in someone else's spot and they want to get violent, they can do that to the property manager anytime they want because they know where she lives. Our driver gets to leave. This law endangers, frankly, property managers and property owners.
All right, hang tight. I got to take a break. I got a few more questions for you, man. This is great information. Hold tight, Trevor.
Is what you said true about?
Hold on, I got to pull these out. You got me screwed.
So far, I had no idea he would be so personal.
What do you think? He was a stinky tow truck driver?
No, I just hadn't thought about it. You know, I hadn't thought that, but until yesterday when he said he was going to come on, I'm like,
okay, is it true about the 24-hour notice?
It's in the bill, yeah.
Oh, it is in the bill? Yeah. Well, why would anybody own a tow truck company then?
Well, that's the point of it.
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
But not just the tow truck. I mean, why would anybody obey any signs?
Right. Any signs.
I'll come park in front of your front door because it's closer to mine.
Yeah.
And you give me a 24-hour notice, and I'll salute you, and I'll move in 23 and a half hours.
Mm-hmm. Or else you park there at night.
Well, when I'm done, since that ain't 24 hours I need.
That's true. You're not going to stay.
But you park there at night.
Hold on, guys.
In the morning.
Just park there every day.
That's insane.
D5. $39. Can you imagine $39? What can you get for that? You can have your furnace refurbished for $39. Let's face it, the cold weather's going away. That furnace has been working all winter. It's time to get the guys that fix it 24/7 in there, and for $39, they're going to tear it apart. They're going to clean it. By the way, dirt is a #1 killer of a furnace. You have to check this deal out. Now, it's only for new clients. They want to get in there, show you how hard they're willing to work for you, what a great job they do, and it's only $39 to get that furnace cleaned. 720-526-3939, 720-526-3939, only $39, fixmyhome.com. Now, we all know interest rates are going up. There's no doubt about it. The feds have done it. If you've been following a 30-year mortgage, my goodness, I think they're up to 4.5%, 5%. If you're hovering over that, or if you're looking at a new purchase of a new home, maybe you're moving, upgrading, downsizing, whatever you want to call it, if you need a loan, you need to call the guys at Ideal Home Loans. And the other thing I want to throw in there, credit card debt, 18, 21%. Car loans some people got into, anywhere from 10 to 30%. You have any high interest loans, maybe it's worth doing a refi right now. You can save a fortune, and the guys at Ideal Home Loans will talk to you. They'll listen to what you need. They'll be able to give you the lowest rate available. In fact, they have the interest rate guarantee, and you can check that out at idealhomeloans.com. They have custom term. Maybe you don't want a 30. Maybe you don't want a 15. You want something else, and their credit optimization is unbelievable. Write this number down for your next Ideal Home Loan, 303-867-7000, 303-867-7000. Now, we talk about public adjusters all the time. We love public adjusters. Why? Because they fight for you. You know, many times there's an issue like a hailstorm or a fire or a flood, something where you have to make a claim, whether it's on your own house or a commercial building you own, maybe it's an apartment complex, maybe you own and rent inside of a strip mall. There's numerous reasons why you file a claim, and there's one thing in common with every claim filed. One thing, you know what it is? They're trying to screw you. They're trying trying to give you the least amount of money. They're not looking at what they promised you when you actually entered into that insurance agreement with them. That's where Public Insurance Adjusters of Colorado come in. These guys will actually look at your policy. They know the language inside and out. They'll look at what your insurance company is offering you. Then the best part is they're going to point out the thousands and tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars they're neglecting to tell you they owe you. They'll look at everything for free. If you were affected in these fires or have small damage, commercial, residential, you get the idea. Please get a second opinion. 720-715-0000. It's free information. You could be leaving $100,000 on the table. 720-715-0000.
If you're looking to pay for a home improvement or fund a loan, what's done more to improve overall health and wellness?
Are you used to hitting, or do you want me to hit it?
Actually, it's both. But considering that bathing went mainstream in the 1800s and brushing your teeth in the 1900s, isn't it time for something new, like cleaning your nose?
Especially making such a big deal, Ukraine blew up in Oil Depot in Russian territory.
The first line of defense against allergens,
that was his question. Aren't you in war?
I mean, we need to investigate it. We can't have that shit
I'm
going on over on this side.
I'm supposed to get your shit too.
Because they think Russia plays by the rules, right?
Yeah. Wait a minute. No, that's over the line. We can't have that.
To the very back of the nose where it get trapped and multiply. And then out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and microbes so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier. Join over 2 million others and find out for yourself how refreshing and easy to use Navage is. At Navage.com, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid,
Fix it again. Fix it up.
Clean nose, healthy life.
Deal. Oh, shit. Did I have 3 in that break, or did I screw up?
You probably screwed up.
No, I had 3. Yeah. On his paper that he printed out for me, it had 2. Okay. I'm going to follow what you put up. See, this is kind of bullshit because I just did an ideal and they're playing this in the same break. You know what I'm saying, right? Oh, you know what's funny is your station, there's only one mortgage company. This is the only show where there's more than one, just to give you a heads up.
This is Chris Collinsworth. Here's what's trending on the iHeart Sports Network, presented by DraftKings.
Yeah, I forgot about that. No one else in the building has. We're the only show that does outside of American financing.
Oh, yeah. Is that where a lot of people ended up over there from here?
Oh, my God.
Like the whole sales department.
Everybody that went through the layoffs.
Yeah.
God, that was Bloody Monday, bro.
Is that why Mike Brown always says my friends work at
Exactly.
Download the top-rated
He's lying,
DraftKings
yes.
Sportsbook app today and use code SCORES.
When I talked to Liz, she was, I don't know if she still is. She was
SCORES for a special offer.
She was my
when you
sales
sign
person.
up for Ottawa at
Oh,
DraftKings Sportsbook.
you made me think of something. I think Kenny helped us a couple of years ago with Get Found Fast on how to get in touch with Google or something. Let's try to get him on. I'm not going to do much more of this towing. All right,
303-713-8255. We're talking to Trevor Forbes. He's the CEO of Wyatt's Towing. New legislation. And, Trevor, I'm not going to spend too much more time on this. It's kind of weird doing this topic because, you know, really it's a consumer show. But, honestly, a lot of our consumers, you know, they want to be able to park in their own parking spot. So I find the whole thing kind of crazy, man. Who should they call up and complain to that this legislation is silly?
Yeah, so the easiest and best thing to do is just Google Find My Legislator Colorado, and you type in your address, and it'll pull up your senator and your representative. It'll give them their email address and phone number, and send them an email or call their office and say, hey, like, you know, I understand maybe there needs to be some legislation, but, like, I don't think there should be free parking everywhere for everyone.
No, it sounds it's crazy. If you're just tuning in, there's been legislation introduced in Colorado that basically says we're not going to allow anybody to tow a car in a private parking facility. And, you know, private is virtually anything that private's anything but the city streets. That's what it comes down to. But they got to give a 24-hour notice before. So imagine this, you pull into that Burger King or McDonald's off a Spear, and it says, you know, only customer parking. Well, you could feel free to park there and run across the street now for 24 hours. And then if you can't, how do you take this? If you can't afford to pay, what would the test be to see if you can afford to pay or not?
Yeah, I mean, there is no test. And on top of that, the law requires me to put a sign, like right in front of the person that says, hey, if you don't want to pay, you don't have to.
Oh, think about this. Think about how ridiculous this is. You know what? This isn't a political show, but this is so insane. Some people, I think these people are really trying to do something in the bottom of their hearts, or the pit of their stomach is probably a better way to put it, that they feel is good. It's like a feel-good thing. We're going to help the people that get screwed by these tow drivers. But my God, this is the dumbest thing I have ever heard. This is like, let's get rid of all cops. This is Colorado's version of, not defund, but let's just get rid of police altogether. Let's just get rid of them. I mean, this is just... I can't believe anything like this is even brought up. What the hell has this state become? This is insanity at its best. Trevor, I want to ask you something a little off topic, okay?
Okay. No problem.
He's like, ah, crap. No, it's got nothing to do with you guys, but these boot companies, are they under the PUC? Do you know anything about companies like Park It Right?
So I'll just say not directly. I believe, and don't quote me on this, that they are now. There is some regulation in place, but I'm not super privy to it. To be honest, booting, it works in some situations, but it's real prevalent because, like, as we just discussed, like, you know, if the car is in violation, it needs to move. Like, booting it just keeps it there longer.
I find it...
I'm not real keen on it.
My buddy Kevin next to me at Sheridan Autotech pointed this out, and it's so obvious. For the life of me, if I, once again, owned a spot in my condo parking lot, and someone's parked there, and they put a boot on it, now I'm double screwed. The guy can't even move his car so I can park there. I mean, I find it asinine. Really, what it comes down to, it doesn't solve the problem. Now, it might in some circumstances, but even Denver, when they boot someone that's at a meter that's expired or parked somewhere, it still leaves the car there so no one else can use it. I don't even understand the entire... Why is it even allowed?
You know, I don't know. I could think of a couple instances where it might matter, but it just doesn't happen very often. So yeah, I'm aware. I'm aware of Park It Right, but I don't know him personally or that business. So I couldn't really speak to it.
Yeah, I got you, and I appreciate that. I'm not trying to pit you against competition, but it's so funny. When Kevin said that to me, it never dawned on me how asinine the entire business model is. For him, it's great. For the owner, Joel of Park It Right, it's great. He gets the boot. It's very little work. What, you hire someone to get out and strap a cable on there, then you shake them down for whatever amount of money, but it doesn't solve the problem.
No, he's getting paid rent for somebody else's parking spot.
All right, Trevor, give that website out once again if people want to get involved.
Yeah, just Google Find My Legislator, and it'll pull up if you're in Colorado. It'll be probably the first link you see. And it's really, you just type your address in. It's a state website, and it pulls it right up.
Hold on. Craig's got a question for you. Hold on. I have no idea what this is. Craig, what is the question?
Well, it wasn't really. I had a comment on it yesterday. I discovered this legislation being proposed yesterday in the Denver Post.
Yeah.
And as the Denver Post would have it, they tried to appeal to everybody's sympathies that because of COVID, certain people weren't able to afford either food or tags for their car, therefore their tags expired, and their vehicle got towed because the tags had expired.
Yeah.
Now, you know, it's more of this nanny state stuff. I mean, I see people driving around on expired permits on new car purchases that are almost 2 years expired.
Yeah, I know.
And they're not enforcing that.
Yeah.
So why are we allowing them to enforce this on private property?
Yeah, but did you hear what Trevor said? Hold on a second, man. You can't blame the tow truck company for that, because that is the management company or the owner of the property deciding what to tow. So I get it, and I understand where Trevor's coming from. They don't want to be the bad guy. I mean, they do want to be the bad guy to protect who's hiring them. I get that 100%, but we can't blame it. Honest to God, you can't blame it on the tow industry. It is the management company that are making these rules. Trevor, I appreciate you coming on, man. I got to let you go. I can already tell people are going, oh, my God, these guys tow people, and you know what I'm saying. Hey, I will say this about Trevor and the gang at Wyatt's. Every single time we've had a call on them and someone says they towed it or they damaged it or they shouldn't have towed it or I wasn't parked there, whatever it is, we call up, and every time, he has sent me either video or photographic proof of exactly what happened. Not one time has a vehicle not been towed for a valid reason. Trevor, I appreciate you coming on and talking about that, and I do agree with you. Those are some crazy rules and regulations. Have a good one, man.
All right, thanks, Mark.
All right, 303-713-8255. I promise we're going to get off that topic. Dan, hold tight. This is a big problem. This is a big issue, and a lot of business owners have had to deal with this when it comes to Google. We're going to discuss that, and then something about a Ukrainian fundraiser. Suzanne might be able to fill us in, and then your questions, comments, and complaints. 303-Martino. Hold tight.
Yeah, CEO sounded pretty reasonable, but you would imagine that a CEO of a big company is not going to sound like an idiot.
Boy, Kevin, you opened my eyes. That is such like... Why am I not hearing anything?
I don't hear anything either.
This is Denver's talk station.
I fired it.
Michael Brown in the morning and Dan Kaplan in the afternoon. 6:30.
No, because like I said, I was in the business, and one of my guys branched out, was trying to start booting cars.
It's absurd.
And that's what I told my people. It's like, he's not fixing your problem.
Especially if that's my spot.
Well, wait, I'll tell you what.
Now they really screwed me, because I could have knocked on someone's door and said, move your fucking car, but he can't even move it.
He can't move it himself.
But if it's a meter, the city makes more money by booting it.
But so does the booter.
Yeah,
He doesn't have a tow truck. He doesn't have a lot.
No, why would the city make more money?
Okay,
Especially Denver. They can tow it and sell it.
No. If you have a meter, okay? Yeah. You're parked in a meter. Let's say it costs $2 an hour. So the most you can make is $48, right? If you fine them $75, the city makes money.
O'Brien on granite.
With your impact traffic and weather.
Right, Mark?
Hold on.
Okay.
At Premier Members, we personally handcraft every detail of every mortgage to perfection. It's not just your mortgage loan, it's their masterpiece. Join them at becomepremier.com. But NCUA, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 416701.
You know, buying real estate or a home is generally people's number one asset or number one expense they ever have. I mean, it's their number one possession, a house, maybe even a commercial building for your small business. You get the idea. You need to have someone look at what you're doing. You need a real estate attorney that knows what he's doing and that can answer all your questions. Maybe you own some rental properties and your lease hasn't been updated forever. Maybe you're looking at leasing a commercial piece of property and you're committing to 3 years and they want a personal guarantee. You need to hire an attorney to look at it. O'Brien Legal Services, Bradley O'Brien, he's the man. 720-370-7388. This guy can do it all. Buying and selling docs, loan docs, leases, seller financial reviews. Maybe you're selling something and you're selling it as an individual and holding the note. He can actually do a background check on who's buying it. Bradley O'Brien, 720-370-7388. Now, when I wanted new countertops, what did we do? Well, Suzanne got her phone out, took some pictures of our existing countertops, and I did some measurements. We then sent him over to Mitch Floria at theartofgranite.com. He looked at our existing stuff, looked at the measurements, and I told him what I wanted. We wanted old school granite. That's exactly what we wanted. And he gave us a price right over the phone. Who else does that? Try to find a contractor that'll give you a quote over the phone just by sending a little bit of information. On top of that, right now, if you have the kitchen done, this is mind-blowing, he'll actually do the bathroom for free. We love our new cabinets. We love our new countertops. Mitch Floria, theartofgranite.com. That is theartofgranite.com.
So here's what you have a meter, right? Yes. You keep your car to meter. Let's say it's $2 an hour. Right, so the city makes $24, right? Root it and fine it for $50 or $75. The city makes more money.
If you tow it and impound it.
No, but the city doesn't make money on it.
Oh yeah, you're right. That'd be the tow truck because the city doesn't. I wonder if some municipalities own their own shit. But yeah, in general, you're right.
So they make more money
by booting.
But wait, and fining it.
The ticket's bigger.
Yeah,
but it's still the tow company. I don't think Denver does their own boots, right?
No, but what I'm saying is, but you get a fine.
You think
you get a fine? Okay. Which is more than the meter would make in a day.
Fair enough.
So they don't care. The spots there make money. So they make more money by giving you a ticket than by renting out the space.
4433. Let me give you a story. Just last week, Troy listed a house that was on the market for almost a month. You know what? Troy sold it for full price in less than a week.
Except, Dave, it wasn't last week. It was 3 fucking months ago.
Troy will buy your house for all cash. And he can
He didn't leave, did he? He just stepped out?
Yeah, he's taking a piss out of
get your home sold for the most money. 720-900-4433.
I've got Dusty on from Get Found Fast for Line 4. He's been holding an hour and a half. Line 1 is that Linda lady from yesterday. I was going to tell Kevin that. Kevin came on for that yesterday. We were supposed to get Nora's. Linda calls and says, I don't want Nora's, so I'm going to ask Kevin some questions. So anyway. But you'll take Dusty next with Line 4? Okay.
Yeah, you can always jump in and tell. Well, I know you never know who I'm going to. That's the problem.
Well, I don't want to mess up your flow, but I have my own flow here.
I get it.
And Giannis and Marina, that'll just be a nice, quick thing to do.
It's not that. Is it that bakery with no carbs or whatever?
No gluten, no.
Different one.
That's different. But you might want to have the flyer up when you talk to Giannis and Marina.
Where's the flyer?
It's in your email from help. If you didn't delete it, there it is. Go down, and it's just a nice little plug for them. I guess he's been on the show before, although I don't remember it.
It's the biggest no-brainer in the history of Earth. We're driving up to a law school probably Monday.
You go to Wyoming, right?
Yeah, Addie wants to say. I really hope. I think she's getting into DU. I do. I really do. But I kind of like Wyoming better because it's small classes.
She's going to live there, right?
Well, yeah, she ain't going to commute to Wyoming.
Yeah,
that'd be a hell of a commute.
Melinda's twin nieces were spent a couple of years up in Wyoming for college.
We need an attorney in the family, quick, real quick,
real quick, real quick.
There's been a few times I wish we had one. I could have used one years ago that practiced in Vegas.
Yeah. Whatever happened to that attorney, Mark?
Coupe.
Mike Bears, yeah.
We didn't have, he's a good guy, but he was my employee for years.
Yeah.
Okay, so you knew about all that. When I fired him from Colorado Car Care, it wasn't a great ending. There was nothing in. This was right after Pappas stole $250,000 from me.
Yeah,
I've always kind of felt bad about it, but I had no choice.
I remember Mike actually from the store.
Yeah, he'd been my attorney forever. He was only an employee for, a couple of years. All right, 303-713-8255. Any comment on that towing? I'd love to hear it. I'll tell you what I learned out. What I learned about that towing more than anything is who makes the rules. Think about that. It's never the tow truck driver. So when you go complain to your management, if you're in, from now on when we have these calls in, I'm not going to say, hey, Doc, I want you to go call the towing company. I'm going to start having you call the management company and say, why are you guys, so hardcore? These people are paying you a couple $1,000s for rent, and because his tags are out of date, you guys made a rule to have them towed. That's not fair.
And a lot of these management companies are really bad. Just real quick, we had a call about a guy who, if you remember this, he got billed for work that wasn't done, but on his toilet.
On his toy. Oh, that guy sounded a little strange to me.
No,
But so what happened?
Well, I called up the management company.
Yeah.
And it was one of these. We won't talk to you if you want to. If the customer wants to talk to us, he needs to send an email to our legal department.
So we got nowhere.
Right. So that's Colorado Property Management, who I think are sleazebags.
Yeah. You know what, Doc? These guys, a lot of people. It's so telling when someone won't come on the air and tell their side, Joel. Oh, why'd I say Joel? He owns it. Park It Right. Park It Right really should come on. Park It Right. Honestly, I don't know why he doesn't come on. I honestly don't. He might change my mind on it. Maybe there is a perspective that's actually better for the consumer by booting than towing or other things. I'd love to hear it, but I don't know. Crickets. Jiminy Crickets. Who used to say Jiminy Crickets? I don't know. And I'm not even 50, and I don't even think anybody under the age of 80 has ever said Jiminy Crickets. Now, let's go to Dan. Dan, you've got a question that has affected a lot of small businesses over a long period of time. What is it?
Well, they say that I was, a month ago, they said I was temporarily closed, so I did the button where it says
Who's
suggest
they?
and edit.
Who's they?
Google. If I pulled up myself on Google, if I Googled my business, it showed a picture of the business, of the location, a physical picture, and they had temporarily closed. So I did the suggest and edit and checked back a month later, and then it said it was permanently closed. And I did
and I assume
edit.
you're open.
I tried to call every phone number in America that would be listed to Google, and I never got a live person, and I wound up sending them a letter.
What does it say right now? What is the name of the business?
Big Places Storage.
Guys, look it up. Big Places Storage, and you're wide open. Everything's cruising along.
In Fountain, Colorado.
Fountain, Colorado.
Yep.
All right, hold on. I want to get one of our experts up. Hold on. Hey, Dusty, I haven't talked to you for quite a while. Dusty's with Get Found Fast. They've actually done some work on Referral List and other websites that we know, and they deal with Google all the time. I got a couple questions before we get directly into what Dan's asking. Where does Google... I always thought that people have to tell Google about their business, but I guess that's not the case. How does it typically work?
Yeah. Hey, Mark, how's it going? It has been a minute.
Yeah.
So basically, it's good to talk to you, and we're happy to help. I actually wrangled in one of my amazing SEO experts that work here at Get Found Fast. Cool. Her name's Hannah, because this is really tricky. This isn't quite, I mean, it is easy, but it's not easy. So when you're a business, you need to register your business in the Google My Business profile.
Got it.
And that does require you to have an @Gmail email. You need to have one of those profiles.
In order to log in.
How you feel, exactly. So no matter how you feel about the Google-nator, as I lovingly call it, you got to get one of these so you can get found on Google. So once you have, so let me ask you this, does the owner of Big Places Storage have a Gmail account?
Dan, do you have a Gmail account?
I do not, and I don't want to register anything.
Well, okay, but listen, we're not going to play this.
That's the problem then.
Well, okay, but we're not going to play the game, Dan, that you don't want to get a Google account. If you want to change this, you have to. We're not going to change Google. I can assure you there's not one damn thing Mark Major's going to say that's going to make Google do anything. So if you don't want to fix it, just say, I don't want to fix it.
Well, I'd love to have it not say the wrong thing.
Well, then you're going to have to do it, or you're going to have to hire someone like Get Found Fast to do it for you. Dusty, hold on. Dan, I don't mean to beat you up, but it's like people that call up and complain the Denver Post didn't get delivered. Well, okay, then get rid of the Post. Well, I like reading the paper. Well, it's not going to matter in another week or whenever it is. At some point, you have to change, Dan. At some point, if you want people to know you're open, you got to come to two realizations. One, people use Google. Two, on top of that, you got to have a Gmail account in order to do something with it. But Dusty, just what you said brings up a question, though. He doesn't have a Gmail, nor did he create that Google company panel.
Right.
How the hell do they know Dan's got a business?
Because Google is pulling information based on his other business listings, perhaps if he has a website. Maybe he's got his listing in other citation places where he has
so the answer is who knows? Like, they're pulling it from anywhere and everywhere is basically the bottom line.
It's basically because of the website. He has a website, so Google's trying to suck that information in. Correct.
So Dan, I mean, really, that's it. What?
Doesn't have a website.
He doesn't have a website. Okay, but Dan, listen to what she said. They could be getting it for anywhere. For all we know, they could get it from Colorado's Secretary of State.
Pages.
I would think so.
Yeah, exactly.
I am a company in good standing with them.
No, that's what I'm saying. They could get it from anywhere. But listen, man, just bite the bullet. Here's what I want you to do. I'm going to put him on hold. So here's, honest to God, what I'm thinking. Dusty, I'm going to have him call you off air. I'll give your phone number out. Or actually, why do that? Your website's awesome. GetFoundFast.com. It's easy. So, Dan, go to GetFoundFast.com and call him. Do me a favor, Dusty. Would you guys help him a little bit with this? Can you do that for me?
Yeah, we absolutely can.
All
no
right.
problem.
Let's just solve this. But I don't know how to answer someone's problem or help them when they say, well, I don't want a Gmail account. It's just not the way it works anymore.
Or a website either. What difference does it make?
Yeah, I know. You know, how hard is it if he had that login? This happened to me just the other day. I went to meet my kid for lunch, and we were going to meet over at a place that's got, I don't want to say the name of it, but it's got arcade games and stuff. So we were going to go over there, play some pinball, have some lunch. We get over there. They always open up at 11 for lunch, and they close at whatever. We get over there, they're closed. And there's a sign on the door, company event or something. But I checked actual Google to see what time they open on my way over, and it said it was open. How hard is it for a business to say they're going to be closed for 3 hours?
That might be a little bit more challenging in all fairness, and I don't love to give fairness to Google, but that might be a little bit more challenging.
So really, that's more of a Google issue than it is a company issue. If there's a 1 hour emergency and someone's going to run out, it just simply, you can't simply tell Google, I'm not going to be here.
I don't believe so. Let me see, Hannah.
It's not a huge deal. Honestly, Dusty, I have to run right here, but these guys are great at GetFoundFast.com. If you need anything, if you've been thinking about advertising on the internet, here's the bottom line: give them a call. That's it. Go to their website, GetFoundFast.com. They'll talk to you. The other thing they'll do, and I'm sure they're still doing it 100% for free, they'll tell you where you rank compared to your competition, and that can be shocking. GetFoundFast.com. Now, Linda, Dan, Janos, and Marina, you guys hold on. I'll tell you when a line's open. We'll be right back.
Why does a guy without a website or a Google account care what the
I love when people say shit like that, though, Kevin. I want to strangle them. I don't want a cell phone.
Is sponsored by Blindster.
How do I text through my landline? I don't want to buy a cell phone.
There's a stalled vehicle and it's blocking the left lane. We're seeing stop and go speed.
O'Brien and Art?
Police on scene now as well.
God, I swear I just did that.
I thought you just said O'Brien too.
You sure it's the same?
Your Fox 31 pinpoint
Did you call us on the phone?
I know you did.
Mostly clear in 33 tonight. Most
Should be a fix-it and ideal.
Got it.
I know you did Auto Granite.
I got it. It was two other ones.
We're sitting at 53 with your impact traffic and weather. Katie Mitchell, 630 KHAL.
New blinds or shades? Blindster.com offers custom-made blinds and shades and shutters shipped directly to you at prices less than big box retailers. Blindster blinds are easy to install and guaranteed to fit. And right now, save 45% off any order. Just use code radio at checkout. Blindster.com.
I'm going to tell you about a deal, and I'm not kidding. I want you to take advantage of this, and it truly is taking advantage. And whatever you want to do or not do, I'm telling you this is going to be the best deal you can do. And it's a $39 furnace cleaning, $39. They're literally going to tear apart. It's fixed at 24/7. You've seen the ads. But if you're a new customer, they're going to come out. They're going to tear it apart. They're going to get all the dirt out of it, which, by the way, is the #1 killer of a furnace. And they're going to do it for $39. You don't have to do anything else. You don't have to buy a membership. You don't have to do anything else but give them $39 to clean your furnace. So it just doesn't matter. You follow what I'm saying? It is going to be the best deal you can take advantage of. It simply is. It simply is $39 to clean your furnace. They generally spend over an hour doing it. When you're done, you're going to be shocked. Then they're going to tell you what they do, and here's the reason they do this. when your furnace does break down, if it does break down. And by the way, for that $39, they give you the breakdown guarantee, so that's even more crazy. But if it does break down in the future, guess what? They are going to put a little sticker when they do this service so you know who to call. They're thinking ahead of the game. They want to prove to you what a great company they are and what they can do for you now so they can make you a customer forever. Fix it 24/7, 720-526-3939. Give them a call right now and get it scheduled before the real hot weather comes and they're not doing it anymore, or they're doing it for $200. 720-526-3939. FixMyHome.com. Now, interest rates are going up. There's no doubt about it. In fact, I think the 30-year mortgage is up around 5%. You know, people actually older than me, but can think back when mortgages were actually around 14% during the Carter administration. Interest rates are crazy. Now, reasons to refi right now are very simple if you think about it, and the guys at Ideal Home Loans can help you. But here's the reasons. One, you're paying interest rates that are higher. In other words, if you refinance right now and need to take some cash out and you have $30,000 in credit card bills that are 18%, or a car loan that's at 15 or 20%, think of all the money you are saving. How about making that basement look the way you've always dreamed? Maybe a little sports bar down in your basement, or putting in that patio with the hot tub. You want to invest that money back into your house? Well, then 5%'s worth it all day. If you do a second through a bank, it's going to cost you more. So if you need cash, or if you have other high interest debts, you need to call Ideal Home Loans, and you need to do it now. And if interest rates do go back down, guess what? They have the interest rate guarantee. For 2 years after you refi, if rates go down, they will refi you for free. You can check out their website for all the details. Their pre-approval's unbelievable. It's like shopping with cash. And let's face it, if you're buying a new home, you have to get a loan no matter what interest rates are. And these guys have the lowest rates available. 303-867-7000. Ideal Home Loans, idealhomeloans.com.
Do roller coaster stock market make you nervous? With such
Woosah, huh?
What's that?
Was that a woosah?
I'm still getting used to hitting that damn button.
Your money, your retirement, Saturday on 630 KHOW. If you're concerned about the markets, call today to schedule
Up or down?
a complimentary review of your portfolio. Call 720-4.
What's up behind the market?
Walmart's been on fire.
8604. Or online, your money.
Oh yeah, you're not shit, man. Fuck. I happen to be a good part of everything up. Let me see here. Walmart's way the fuck up for me today. Nokia's up.
So Joe Biden wants to tax you on your potential gain.
I don't have 100 million, sir.
No,
I got some money, but I ain't got no 100 of it.
No, but if you have unrealized gains.
No, only if you make over 100 million.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is still the dumbest thing, because I don't know.
Well, it may not be even legal.
Well, long as I can write off my pretend losses too.
Did you get to ride up your bus as a second home?
My accountant is working on that as we speak.
Okay.
Honest to God. I thought
that was pretty clear cut.
my first one, I took the entire thing. So when I sold it, unfortunately, I sold it for close to what I bought it for.
So you got to recapture that.
But the one I bought was 3 times the fucking amount, or 4 times the amount, whatever it is. And we're working on what to do with that.
Rolling studio, how's that going to work?
Because this one, I don't think I'll replace it. You just want to go straight in, or what? No, I mean, straight out, I should say, or do you want me to talk for a second? Perfect.
Were you allowed to claim losses on your business if let's say someone stole something, or if you didn't get paid for work done?
Hold on a second, I got it. It's right now.
695-7000 or online AmericanFinancing.net.
God, here we go again. Another American Financing right after an Ideal.
Our business is growing.
That's all right.
All over now.
So who programs that stuff?
I'm recommending
Computers.
one phone video.
They shouldn't be that way, though. There must be a code wrong. In fact, I'll email someone.
Per user plus taxes and fees.
Now
you're feeling it.
What do you say though? You write up stuff you didn't
Well,
get
if I took care of a woman all through her pregnancy and delivered the baby, and she didn't pay me, because I couldn't deduct it. It was just like it never happened.
Well, you didn't have any income to offset anyway. So you had your expenses you wrote off as it is. So the only year you lost would be your net.
Then, yeah, we should be able to deduct.
Let's say it's $1,000 and it cost you $700 to make that.
Right.
Okay. I'll just tease next hour, period.
That's 877 Ask Dell. A start to a simpler experience with Windows 11 Pro.
Major League Baseball
legend and Hall of Fame
Jr. will be this year's speaker at the Boy Scouts breakfast at Ball Arena on April 6th.
I'm going to get a drink. Anybody want water? Water thing?
Sports breakfast.
All right, listen. I wasn't great and punctual on my break, so we've got another hour coming. We've got a lot going on. You've been ripped off, taken advantage of. 303-713-8255. Hey, Linda and Marina, you guys hang tight. I promise I'm going to get you guys before anybody. 303 Martino. Hold tight, a lot coming up. My name's Mark Major. This is the Troubleshooter Network.
But ideal home loans and
Yeah.
Actually admitted it.
Oh, I forgot my wrist guard. Okay, when the ball is a custom one I got, right? And then pretty much, if I remember, I pretty much told me, this is the lightest you want to go. But man, do you bowl at all?
Mm-hmm.
I feel it in my wrist, like when I go, I just feel that little bit of a twitch, almost like I feel like I could break my wrist. So I wonder just if a guard is all I really need to just make my wrist stronger. And you know, I told Mark, I said, when I have a bad couple of franks, I'm like, I'm not making any excuses. I really feel like the ball is a little heavy for me. But I think it's a 9.
But you beat him anyway, huh?
Yep.
Oh man, you can't go much lighter now. It bounce up the pins.
I know.
I feel like I could do so much more damage with an 8.
What's his name? I forget.
Be large?
Hey, Be Large, can you tell me how many times on the log there that Ideal and American were played in the same break? Is that a possibility?
So anyway,
your form should take most of the weight out of it.
I know at least twice.
So then my form's not right. I need lessons. Is what I'm saying. I need lessons, Mark.
Mornings at 10.
Yeah, the
bowling lessons.
The heaviest that ball should ever be right here.
That's drop it, and it comes back, and then it comes back by itself. You shouldn't be having any exertion.
That's the heaviest it should be, is right there where you're
putting it up
where you're posing.
Do you give lessons?
No. No,
I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
that really, if my form was better, I wouldn't feel it so much here.
Because my son's buddy was like a professional, so we used to go out with him all the time, and he'd show me. You're trying to muscle it. It's like, the harder you, it's like.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
120 pounds.
And then at that very end there, Kevin, I feel the twist, and all of a sudden the balls run away in the gutter.
Yep.
But I had a good day yesterday.
Well, if you were doing that, how bad is mine?
I try to stay super conscious about keeping my body straight and not going to the side and all that, but yeah.
Go ahead.
But it should be like on a string. There should be no, like a clock.
Yeah. Sure
Was that the only hour?
Sure, it's fun doing it.
It is.
You want me to start golfing? I can't imagine. When I'm at Top Golf, I
guess our golf clubs are already delivered.
I mean, when I'm at Top Golf, I can't even get it halfway down. I don't know how to golf.
You can't play golf without taking lessons first. It's the dumbest thing in the world to do.
It is. And then you wait all winter long, and you go back out again, and you got to start over again.
So I'm going to probably really end up getting lessons for that. So.
It's just a matter of hitting balls. You got to go out and do it.
But you got to have a lesson.
Yeah, you do. You have to have a basic understanding.
Yeah, no basic understanding here. I've been winging it and swinging it.
I was a caddy at the golf course. I used to play every night. waiting for people to come in so we can lock up the.
There's people that love it. Aloe Ramos.
Yeah.
And his wife loves. She's on like a women's league.
Good for them,
yeah. So.
I had a girlfriend that I went out with like for 5 years, and we were golf fanatics. It was great having someone to play with all the time.
Well, maybe I could learn to enjoy it.
Golf course in Florida. That's where he retired.
Yeah, I was on
take the golf course. Take the golf cart out of the side of the garage with that little mini garage door.
Mm-hmm.
Take the golf cart out,
right
drive
onto
up,
the course.
you know, right onto the course. Yeah. Crazy. Now, where I caddied, and then I was a golf cart mechanic, I wasn't allowed to leave till all the carts were in. And people in the summer are teeing off at 6 o'clock at night, you know. And the caddy master, but he was an ex-pro. So he and I used to throw a bag on and follow the last foursome around, you know. And we'd hit 2, 3, 4, 5 balls apiece, depending on how fast the group ahead of us was. And just by sheer repetition and muscle memory, and, you know. And then he'd see things in a swing that you know.
But also, if you're a guy, you probably played ball early in your life.
Baseball, side hand-eye coordination.
Yeah. But if I were, you know, telling Susan, she should definitely take lessons, because otherwise it's so frustrating. Because you have no idea what you're supposed to do.
It's frustrating anyway.
It is, but at least you know what you're supposed to work on.
Is not a lot of fun all the time.
And the yellow ball there.
Yeah.
Or the orange ball, or a green ball. Nope, not a green ball.
Some of the country clubs I worked at, I used to caddy for a couple of baseball players, and it's freaky how far they can hit.
Oh, I know.
Willie Mays I didn't caddy for him, but I was a foursome behind him. And like 375 or so, straight uphill dog leg. I mean, big hitters are hitting drivers like 30 yards short of the.
Well, my son played baseball all his life. He's 6'5", and he just kills the ball because he got that baseball swing, and it's a totally different game. I mean, if he hits the ball, you know, 320 or 330, and it's off the fairway, he just has a wedge over any obstruction to the green. It's like drive a wedge for him.
Oh yeah, but it's still drive for show, putt for dough. You know, I've done that. I've hit monster drives and then scolded over the green.
Right.
Scolded back, three
But
putted for
if he's on the green in 2, the most he's going to get is a bogey. If he 3 putts.
Toughest shot is the one that's 2, 3, 4, 5 feet off the green, because nobody ever practices those.
I do.
Do you?
Well, because it's the only way I can beat him if I have a good short game. But I can't outdrive him, and I can't outputt him, but I can out-chip him.
Sure. That's the crap we used to give my dad, you know, because we used to go down to Florida and play in his tournaments at his place.
Oh, shit.
It's like pop. You're only 80-year-old in Florida without a short game.
Right, you got to have a short game.
You know, because you play best ball and different things, you know.
Yeah, that's what's I'm wrong. I don't keep track of the score because it's just if you're 1 point better than your opponent, that's all that counts.
Mm-hmm. But he'd have 3 perfect, you know, practice swings in them.
A lot of these old guys, you know, they just hit 100 yards down the middle every
I need
time.
hey babe, I need the phone number for Silverleaf and Garage
My
Magic.
grandfather was that way, and he would take money from me every time. And I used to ask him, I said, why do you change clubs? He hits his driver 150. He gets out his 17 wood or whatever the hell he's got in there, you know, and it goes 150.
Straight down the middle, right.
You know. Because even the longest hole, even if he's on it 4, he's damn close.
Right, and then he'll get 2 putts. So.
Yeah. And he gets a stroke on every freaking hole that's here.
Right.
Yeah. And he'd kill you for that $1 too. You're not going to walk away without paying that $1.
Mm.
And you hear about it all night long.
Yeah.
You go out to dinner, you know.
Let me lead a tip.
Exactly.
I mean, it's nothing better for me than taking money from my son.
No, that's right.
Let me lead a tip. This is not my money.
I play with a guy on a lot of time on Thursday afternoons. Good buddy of mine. He's worth probably 30 or 40 million. And we play for $5. Whoever wins just tips the.
We gotta have this dude back in, man.
Which dude? Him? Oh, this guy. Yes.
Rock and Roll Brewery.
You just want a free beer.
I did like that day.
Was it good beer?
Welcome to the show. This is the only show of its kind. We're here to solve your problems, answer your questions, take your complaints, make your life just a little bit better. You've been ripped off. Maybe you got a bad contractor you need help with. This is a show for you. We use the power of the media. We use that big thing called a radio tower to go after the bad guys. We can bring the pressure onto them. A lot of times, though, communication, we can help you communicate to that contractor or whoever it is, as an example, and try to get things taken care of. Let's face it. At one point in our lives, we've all been ripped off, and that's what this show is for. Maybe it's not worth hiring an attorney. Maybe you can't afford an attorney. That's why this show is around. Over 40 years, the longest-running radio show with the same host. And listen to this number, $300 million. Over $300 million in cash, merchandise, exchanges, refunds directly due to the show, and we don't charge a nickel. In fact, we have actually saved people more money than most law firms. Now, there's some examples out there of big law firms, of course, but think about that. We have saved people for free more than most law firms. 303 Martino's where it all starts. You call that number. If we're not here on the air, we'll check the messages, which we do constantly. We're going to reach back to you. We're going to get you a slot on the show so you don't have to wait. Or if you're hearing this right now and have a question or a complaint or need help, 303 Martino, 303-713-8255. That's the number. By the way, this hour brought to you by one of the best members of ReferralList.com. And ReferralList.com is a list of experts we have personally not only background check, but they've signed our code of ethics. Where else can you go and use a contractor or use a dentist or use a professional of any kind, anybody on ReferralList.com, and if you have an issue with them, you can call us up on air. Does Angie's List do that? Or where Angie, whatever they're called now? How about Home Advisor? How about the BBB? Try to talk to any of them. You ever tried to get Angie on the phone if you got a problem with a contractor? She doesn't answer the phone. We're right here with a microphone. You got a problem with someone on ReferralList.com? We'd love to hear about it. That's ReferralList.com. But Genesis Total Exteriors, Mark Szymanski, man, do I love Mark. I've used him personally at my house, whether you just need painting or siding or a new deck, stucco. This guy is the king of stucco. And then solar. Genesis Solar is a new company he started within the last year. It's the only solar company I know that has a 25-year bumper-to-bumper warranty, and they'll also guarantee for 20 or 25 years how much money you're going to save, how much energy you're going to produce on that solar panel. And if you want a free quote, it's 100% free. You can go to GenesisCO.com. You know what? I know I'm screwing that up. I think it's Genesis Solar CO. I promise I'll give that out, but I'm telling you, you simply go to that website. You can call the phone number or fill that information out, and usually within 48 hours, they look at the satellite up in space. They can see where they're going to put the panels. They'll tell you how much it's going to save you on your energy bill, and they're going to give you a cost. I mean, it's crazy. All within a very short amount of time, like 24, 48 hours, and all that's free. But GenesisSolarCO.com. All right. We've got stuff going on here. I got to get to Linda. She's got a question for our guest, Kevin Calkin. By the way, it's car day. Any automotive questions you got? Kevin, we're going to talk about some different things going on in the industry, but let's see what Linda's got to say first. Linda, what's going on?
Hey, Mark. I was at a gal that called yesterday about the 2007 Hummer that Mike Maroney said needed a new engine. I talked to Kevin for a little bit yesterday.
Oh, Well, first of all, Linda, what was your initial issue yesterday so everybody knows?
Okay, so I took my Hummer in on Monday to get the tires rotated, oil change, spark plugs changed, and the transmission flushed. And then they did all that, and then he said he's going to do the work on the spark plugs, and then the next thing you know, he texted me and says I had a crack in cylinder 5.
I remember
and
this.
They had to look into it more, and now there's no compression, 100% leak in cylinder 5.
You know what?
Because there's a crack in the cylinder head.
Hey, real quick, Linda, you brought it in. You had nothing to do with the tune-up, or did you bring it in for the tune-up, or did you bring it in for other stuff and they upsold you to the tune-up?
Well, no, I brought it in for other stuff, but I had talked to him about doing the plugs because it's got 70,000 miles, and it's 2007. I bought it new up there.
Now, Kevin, you haven't looked at
as long as I have it in, I'll just get the spark plugs replaced. Because he said 70 to 100,000 or 5 years, whichever comes first.
You got a very unique accent. Where are you from, Linda?
I'm from Minnesota.
I knew it. I got a good friend from Minnesota, and his wife sounds like you. Kevin, what do you think on what's going on here? First of all, is that vehicle, Linda, still at that dealership?
Yeah, and this is what I wanted to ask Kevin. Well, this is what I wanted to give you an update. Okay, so yesterday the sales manager, not the sales, the service manager called me, said that he understands I'm upset about my car, and I said, yeah, and he says, well, he said I'd like to look into it further. I don't really know much about it right now. I need to go talk to the tech, find out what's going on with it, and I'll get back to you. You know, supposedly yesterday.
Did he hear you on the show?
Huh?
Did he hear you on the show?
I don't know. He called me.
Just out of the blue.
And so then today, I never heard anything. And when I tried to get a hold of him, they said, well, he had to leave for an emergency today. So, I'm not saying he didn't have to, but, so my question, I guess, to Kevin is, that was another thing he said yesterday. Well, we might be able to put a new head on it, he says, but I don't even know if there's one of the
Now I know they heard you on the air, because that's exactly what I said yesterday. I said, why in the hell do you got to do a whole new engine? Why wouldn't you just send it to a machine shop and fix the head? It's because they were quoting you like $10,000.
Well, I got to tell you, though, Mark, he may not have heard me, because the day before that, when I called the service writer, and when he told me I needed a new engine, I said, hey, I need to talk to a manager about this. I says to him, this is ridiculous. I drive the car in there. It doesn't miss. It doesn't smoke.
Yeah.
Your sales guy drives it, and now you're telling me I need a new engine?
Kevin, okay, I get it. You're frustrated, and it all sucks, and I agree with you 100%, Linda. I'd be furious. I'd be like that discount tire lady throwing tires through the window. Kevin, is there any way they can... They're basically saying it was already cracked. I mean,
They're not saying that. They're saying that since the plugs are original, that they are not responsible for cracking the head.
They never brought it up. Never brought it up.
Yeah, but how would you... Wait, Linda!
I'm not saying they're right.
Hold on. Linda, hold on. Kevin, here's what I'm saying. Is it possible to remove a spark plug and crack the head?
I don't think so.
How the hell could that happen? Now, is it possible to put a new one in and over-torque it and crack the head?
More than likely.
See, this is ridiculous. There's no way. This is what they did wrong.
Yeah. No, we've pulled threads out. I mean, if plugs are old...
Yeah, but then you can helicoil.
Helicoil and fix it, exactly.
And the fact they tried to sell her an engine. So, Linda, but here's where we stand on this, and I mean it. Let's wait to see what these guys say. What's it called, Maroonies?
Mike Maroney, Chevrolet, yeah.
Suzanne, do we get a lot of complaints on Mike Maroney?
Never.
I think I would have already came up with a funny name for him if I remember. I don't think we get a lot of complaints on Maroney. Maybe
this is in Colorado Springs, so I don't know if they even have them up in Denver.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. We're on in Colorado Springs. We get complaints on every damn dealer up there. What do they call that little
motor mile
or whatever? Let me tell you, with the exception of Colorado Springs Dodge, we get complaints on everybody up there. That's just a fact of life. But my point is, maybe the right people are involved now, Linda. Honestly, maybe that service manager getting involved.
Yeah. But let me ask one more question, and I'll let you go. If that was the case, if it was cracked prior to this, me going in,
Linda, stop. Linda, your brain is stuck. Linda, your brain is stuck. None of us think it was cracked prior.
No.
We don't.
Oh, yeah,
we think
they
did something.
But I don't believe that they're going to say that.
Yeah, but they're not stupid.
Let's wait and see what they say now that the service manager is actually looking into it and dealing with it. He might be having second thoughts on it. And you know what? I have a feeling they do know we're involved, just to tell you that. So that's the other part you're not considering. So let's just see what they say. Let's let them look at it, stew about it, Monday. If you don't hear anything back or hear the wrong thing back from them, let me tell you, we'll go to war with them. We'll have one of our experts down there look at it, figure out what most likely happened, what probably happened, and what was impossible that could have taken place, and then we'll deal with them. But they haven't gone there yet. I get you're frustrated.
Right.
I get you. They tried to sell you the engine. We're here to help for you. Honest to God.
Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome. Hold tight. We got all your information. It's just simple as that. I mean, it's really simple as that. Kevin, do you see any way that they're not responsible for this purely based on the information she's giving?
from what I've heard so far, I would have a hard time releasing them from
I'm trying to think worst scenario if well, they're original plugs, but let's say they're not. Someone snuck into her garage and put the plug in and cracked the head when they put it in, or someone snuck into the garage and took the spark plug out and put the wrong size in. I mean, still, she had zero problems till they touched it.
Yeah,
zero.
You don't have a crack hiding in there, and all of a sudden it shows up.
All of a sudden it doesn't go from compression to zero compression.
Correct.
Unless if they left the spark plug out.
Well, yeah, no, something went on putting it back together.
Oh, man. I think people think, I've bet the technician, I'm totally taking a stab at this, but it sounds like the tech screwed up. And he doesn't want to get fired because he knows this is a big deal. And all of a sudden, it's in the right hands. The service manager reached out to her, said, I know you're upset. Let me look into it. He didn't call her back. And my guess is the reason he hasn't called her back yet is, holy crap, we screwed up.
Yeah.
Now, what are we going to do to handle this is where I hope Marooney's at right now.
Yeah, give him a shot. Maybe they'll do it right.
Yeah, we're gonna leave it at that. I'm going to take a break. We're going to come back. A Ukrainian fundraiser. I've been promising to get to this, and I've got some questions about this. I assume these folks are from the Ukraine. I don't know if they have relatives there, but I'd like their take on everything going on. By the way, we do have lines open, 303-713-8255. First time today, you've been ripped off, taken advantage of, 303-Martino. You can also email us at help@troubleshooter.com. I only got one spot. Good.
Nah, they were just throwing it at the wall to see if it'd stick. Trying to get out from under that one.
Well, and it's even dumber because they're trying to sell her a whole motor.
Yeah.
Right here. I just got an email that says, why use Ideal Home Loans compared to all the other advertisements I hear out there on radio and TV? Well, I'll tell you why. In fact, I'm going to give you something to ask other lenders out there if they do, but I already know they don't. At least I don't know any they do. How about an interest rate guarantee? If you refi with them right now and interest rates go down, they're going to refi you for free for up to 2 years. You're not going to beat that. How about credit optimization? Let's say you're a few points away from hitting 760 or whatever it takes to get a little better interest rate. These guys can do a rapid rescore and get that done virtually overnight and help you out and get you that better rate. And here's the thing I really love, the custom term loan. If you really think about it, if you're 20 years into your 30-year mortgage and you want to get to the end of that in the same amount of time, they can refi you into a 10 and still save you a bunch of money. If you want to take cash out, they can extend the age of your loan. They can do virtually any single thing you want done. The custom term, the pre-approvals, the low rates, the interest rate guarantee. For your next loan, idealhomeloans.com.
Susan.
Always takes me about 5 seconds. It feels like 5 seconds.
You're not trained, yeah.
No, because it's pretty new. Usually we don't do this. This is kind of a new thing.
So you guys are actually queuing your own next commercial.
Yeah. We got babied over the years. I think everybody else has been doing it for years.
When are we back on?
4.
4 minutes?
I'm guessing. I don't know.
So is Tom really bad upset that he couldn't go on the air today? Is that the only reason?
No, I think he wanted to take the day off. But I'm not saying he was upset. Think about it. Someone you have worked with for
most of your professional history.
Almost all of your professional history in Denver, had a mini stroke on the air, and his last show was today. It makes you think of fucking everything. I mean, it's pretty straight up.
Colorado 811 before you dig. This message is sponsored by Colorado 811. The Colorado broadcast.
Think about it. Mike Rosen's retired. Peter, that other poor bastard got shot and killed.
Alan.
That was a long time ago.
I was even thinking the other day, Dr. Laura, man, I don't think she's on anymore. The whole fucking industry is so different now, man. It is unlike anything. When these guys came up, there was no on-demand shit. You know, we probably have more people listen to us non-live than live because they can go to the podcast and get, 2 minutes of commercials instead of fucking 3 hours. They can listen to the whole show in 2.5 hours.
It's like watching a football game where you taped it. It's like
fast forward.
It's like 12 minutes instead of 3 hours.
It's crazy. And then competition-wise, you can listen to true crime stuff. If you want to find some crazy shit to listen to, it's already out there. You can go find it. Whatever your deal is.
George Norrie at night, if you want to talk about crazy shit.
Well, Arbel was the original.
Well, yeah, but it's the same program. But to have these people come on with the...
Do they still broadcast from like a trailer in the middle of the desert?
They don't tell you where it
New
is.
Mexico?
It's a secret hideout. They don't tell you where it is. But there's
some fucking mansion.
There's some crazy fucking people on that show.
I gotta turn this up. We'll be sitting here talking.
I listen to it sometimes coming back from the mountains. And there are people that you can't believe these people really believe what they're saying.
And let's not forget, I mean, they still have talk shows.
Goldberg? What?
Let's not forget satellite radio.
Right.
A lot of people, you can listen to music, no commercials, 24/7, whatever genre you want.
But pick the music you want to listen to.
Right.
Or even better yet, Apple Play. There's like 50.
Spotify.
My point is there was no competition back there. It was either FM, where you had a DJ playing music, or it was talk shows where you had a guy talking and playing commercials. There was no fucking difference.
This report is sponsored by...
Well, look at when I was growing up, we had 3 or 4 stations on TV. And you actually had to get up and change the channel.
You know how many new cars don't have AM radios?
Really?
If you're a valued
Come on,
customer,
serious?
you deserve a
I know Tesla doesn't.
appreciation from your
They
credit
just like
card company.
FM or they're on anyway.
Honest to God, I don't know if they... I would assume they have FM. I know for a fact they don't have AM.
That's crazy.
Learn more at
Well, they have that
discover.com/match. Limitations apply.
But they have it for satellite. They have the satellite antenna. All right, folks, 303-713-8255. By the way, I want to give a shout-out again for Mr. Boyles. Peter Boyles, if you didn't know, oh, my God, he was on this station forever and a day. And he retired, did his last show, I think, on 710 today. Tom was over there for a little bit. A lot of people were over there. I mean, man, it was a packed house. And it's like a different era. It's really kind of sad in a way. I sat down. I was with Peter years ago. Just for a week. I'm not going to get into my side of it, but I sat into his show for a week and met a lot of great people and got to know Peter. And over the years, I've had clients go to Peter and I've had Peter advertise for me. And it's just kind of a sad day. I mean, it really is. And we were talking during the break just how different the industry has been. If you think about it, you go back to the late 80s, even 90s. You know, satellite radio wasn't around.
You sure didn't have Spotify. You didn't have any of these things. It's just it's a totally different beast right now. And for AM talk junkies like myself, you know, if you buy a Tesla, there's not even an AM radio in it anymore. I mean, it's like crazy, man. It's just really a different world. But that's it. What do? You change, you compete, you get better, you get sharper. It's like any other business. 303-713-8255. All right, Elegant Bakery, Ukrainian fundraiser. Hey, guys, I'm just going to give you guys the mic, but a couple of questions. It's evident you're having a fundraiser. In fact, I'm going to pull up what Suzanne sent me, but kind of tell me a little bit about it, why you're doing it, and then I'll ask some questions. But go ahead. Marina and Janos, am I pronouncing that right? I'm sure I'm not.
Janos, Mark.
Hey, I was pretty close.
Mr. Mark, it's my honor to speak with you. Yes, there's a Polish bakery in Lakewood. Like you know, Ukrainians have so difficult time right now like never, and Poland is involved to help because when I came to this country, people helped me a lot, and I have obligation to use my bakery for fundraising.
Where is your bakery?
Yes, especially for my daughter-in-law is from Ukrainian as well. So I have even more obligation to do that.
Hey, Janos, where is your bakery? It's Wadsworth in Lakewood, right?
Yes, we are in the Lakewood, Wadsworth, and Hampton.
And what is the bulk? What is the bulk of what you guys do? Is it bread? Is it cakes? Is it everything? Like, for example, do you do birthday cakes, wedding cakes? I mean, really, what is the bulk of your business?
Yes, Mark. I run my bakery from past 20 years with my wife. And mostly we doing custom design wedding cake, occasion cakes, and the European pastry. And what we choose to make for tomorrow Sunday is lemon coconut cake that is people choice.
Oh, wow.
My friends decide to do, they say, hey, this is your legendary cake.
It looks delicious. So you guys are selling, let me kind of get to it. So you guys are selling a 6-inch lemon coconut cake, and I'm looking at a picture of it, and I'm drooling. But, and some sugar cookies, it looks like. And do all the proceeds, so they come in, they buy it, and all the proceeds go to Ukrainian relief efforts?
Yes, absolutely. I have next to me Ukrainian representative. She's Ukrainian leader. And she helped me a lot right now because, like you imagine, is a lot of preparation for tomorrow, Sunday.
Yeah.
And all the money go to her. And Marina, I want to say something about it. Yes.
Well, thank you. You're welcome. I got a couple questions that you might be answering. So I'm going to let you talk, then I'll follow up. Go ahead.
Well, thank you for having us. And we're grateful to Janos for to do this fundraising. Everything what we raise, all money will be spent for medical supplies. And I'm representing Ukrainians of Colorado. I cannot call myself a leader, but I'm a co-founder of Ukrainians of Colorado nonprofit organization, 501c3. And we, so since the final phase of the 8 years war struck Ukraine a month ago, we had so much support out of communities. We're so grateful to our friends, Polish friends. They're our backbone.
Marina, do you guys take anything even for overhead, or we're talking truly 100% is going to go to medical supplies for the Ukraine?
Yes.
Now, people need to, can they call up and purchase it by credit card and pick it up at a different time? Do they have to come in person? I mean, how does it work?
Well, definitely that be helpful for us if people can call.
Okay.
But we definitely be prepared for some number of people, and all the time the production is running, and the people can pay with credit card, check, or cash.
How much is the cake? What is the smallest donation to get the cake?
The cake by itself is $45.
Excellent. Yes. And man, does it look delicious. This is really for a good cause, too. I like the fact it's medical supplies.
Mark, we'd like to invite you and your crew to participate. And
we will be here tomorrow and Sunday, 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. And also, if somebody cannot make it to this fundraising, welcome to give us donation on ukrainiansofcolorado.org.
And you know what we're going to do on behalf of us? I'm going to have Suzanne reach out and give you guys a donation. A lot of people listening, I do agree with what they're doing 100%. It'd be hard not to. But a lot of people that sit around, if we turn the news on, I'm staring at it right now, it's almost a 24/7 hour news cycle. And everybody knows it's a horrible thing. And everybody goes, oh, man, we're so lucky it's not us. So, here's a time to really reach out. It's $45. You could be saving someone's life out there. I mean, really, that's it. It's medical equipment. It's going to people that have been just upended. Can you imagine waking up in Castle Rock, Colorado one day and the Russians are there? It's like a Red Dawn. I mean, it's like the craziest thing I've ever seen. But instead of just talking about how horrible it is, right now is a good time to actually reach out. These guys can be reached at 303 303-322-7708. 303-322-7708, or tomorrow between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. Same with Sunday. They're at 3278 South Wadsworth Boulevard in Lakewood, Colorado. This is a good thing. Instead of just talking about it and everybody, and I'm guilty of it, everybody is, oh, this is unbelievable, look what's happening. These are real people that have been disheveled at a minimum. And the least we can do is give them $45. I mean, honest to God, the least we can do. And guys, I really appreciate you guys are doing something for these poor people going through this. People go, oh, Ukraine might win the war. I don't even know what that means anymore. What does that mean? That means that they get to keep some of their country, all of their country. And if we want to define winning as that, that's fine. That is some level of winning. But these people, some of their homes have been blown up. Some of their friends are dead. Their kids. I mean, there is no winning at this point. It's hanging on for what's yours. And they do need help. 303-322-7708. Marina, do you got anything else you want to say?
Many of us have families, still have families in Ukraine, especially in the eastern part of Ukraine. And as soon as the war is over and we get all our land back, the destruction we experiencing right now, Ukraine is experiencing right now, we will need more money, more supplies to rebuild the country. So this is only the beginning.
Yeah.
And we really appreciate the community for the support we received.
You got it. And once again, guys, this is a Ukrainian fundraiser. These are folks that own a bakery right here in Lakewood. They're good folks. Just, reach out to them. We all talk about it. Guys, I appreciate you coming on, and I hope you raise a lot of money, and I mean that. Okay, Troy, hold tight. I promise you're next. Another dealership issue. I wonder if this one's from up north. We get more calls about dealerships up north than anywhere else, but we're going to find out what's going on there. 303-MARTINO, 303-713-TALK.
Longmont and Greeley.
Yeah.
This is Denver's talk station with Tom Martino now.
Seem like nice people.
Yeah.
Well, what were they doing?
Their website's cool. They got some awesome looking cakes.
Man,
that one right
I'm
there.
ready to go eat. Are they the ones who bought the pastries today?
No.
Okay, who's that?
I have no idea.
They had a meeting.
You know what? You know what's scary about that little shelf? People can put anything there and it disappears. I mean, I've seen shit that looks so sketchy I wouldn't touch in a million years. You go by and it's gone. I've seen shit with bites taken out of it. If you want something eaten, you just put it there.
Chomsky would.
Oh my God, that guy can eat anything. He's like the only one that liked the dollar steaks.
Yeah. You're not going to eat that?
Who's that?
Budget A1 transmission. Oh, okay.
Not only this, the guy weighs like 8 pounds.
Yeah, exactly. Kitty is a rail, but
hold on, guys.
DQ presents Picture This. You stand before the new
Right after this.
stack burger menu at DQ. 5 cheeseburgers with 100% real seasoned beef, like the loaded A1 stack burgers. And your mouth wonders, where have you been all my life?
Probably has hyperthyroidism. It burns it off before it gets...
When you're looking to buy a house or sell a house, you want to hire a good realtor, and I mean a really good realtor. I understand everybody out there, they got a sister, brother, they got someone in the business. Hell, the neighbor used to be a nurse, now she sells homes. I get it. Everybody's a realtor. Everybody thinks it's easy money. Hey, I get 3, 4, 5, 6% just for doing this and barely doing anything. You know what the reality is, though? Every single realtor out there is different. And when I say that, I can't express enough how good Frank Duran, the real estate man, is. I personally use him for every transaction I do with real estate in the state of Colorado. Honest to God, same with Tom, no difference. This is a man. He can negotiate better than anybody I've ever seen. And when he lists your property, everybody gets to see it. He just doesn't list it on MLS. He lists it everywhere. He lists it on Zillow and Homes.com and whatever, everywhere. When he first listed my home in Castle Rock, listen to this. We did a virtual walkthrough. He had this photographer come out. I think it was called a Matterhorn. It was a 3D walkthrough walkthrough of my house. He listed it on a Friday, and by the way, he does that for a reason. And guess how many people looked at my house and how many offers I had by Monday? Nearly 100,000 people did a virtual walkthrough, and we had about 15 offers on that Monday, some of them with zero contingency. You want someone that knows how to negotiate, knows how to list the house, knows how to stage the house. You want Frank Duran, the real estate man. Check him out at frankduranhomes.com. And if you don't know what your house is valued at right now, Frank will do a 100% free assessment. What he can sell it for, what he thinks the marketability is. He'll do all that for free. And you get to talk to one of the nicest guys in the world. frankduranhomes.com.
Pisaki's going over to MSNBC.
No.
Yeah. Wow. She's leaving the White House Post.
The MSNBC?
She should, man. I'll tell you what. I don't care if you're working for Trump, Biden. I'm to the point where those people, they should get a fucking medal. Yeah. And they're the best liars I've ever seen, all of them.
Straight faces. Oh, they can do that.
Oh, my God. And they can argue a point like I've never seen, and it's absolutely a no argument point.
I know, you're sitting up there, this is a lie, but boy, it's got to be.
Why don't you apply for this job?
Fuck. I couldn't do it. Can you imagine getting up there and defending? Your entire job is to defend someone else every day.
No,
stupidity.
Pick the last two presidents. How would you like to defend either?
I think I would take Trump over Biden, but maybe not. I mean, Biden just, here's the difference. Biden doesn't come and talk. I mean, he very rarely talks. Trump was the opposite.
Shut up.
He couldn't shut the fuck up. So I think their jobs were harder.
Yes.
Have you heard the latest Camilla soundbite?
No. What'd she say?
Word salad.
It's incredible.
You don't know what she said.
We're going to help further businesses by helping to further businesses. That's our main priority.
She really said that?
Yeah.
We're going to help further businesses by furthering businesses.
Right. So it's incredible.
She must get so
not
speaking or something. She must just get.
Yeah. She's not a public speaker.
She's not comfortable doing it.
Well, she's too green to be the vice president.
But even as a DA, you wouldn't be speaking. You should be able to put sentences together.
To go from DA to vice president, that's like going from sacking groceries to the CFO.
But she was a senator. She came through.
Was she a senator?
I didn't know she was a senator. That's a little better. Actually, that's a lot better.
Well, don't you remember, you saw Religious.
What's been more
remember that Phil Maher movie?
Health and wellness.
Religious.
I probably saw it, I don't remember it.
But they were talking to a senator and said, you don't have to go strong to be a senator.
1800s and
You just have to have contacts.
1900s, isn't it time for something new, like cleaning your
I'm
nose?
so sick of this.
After all, your nose is the
so
body's air
condescending.
filter for trapping dirt and
It's
germs.
I can't
The first
stand it.
line of defense against allergens,
Oh,
bacteria,
I know.
and
I can't
viruses
stand
from
it.
getting
It's
into
a
your
national
lungs.
spot,
But
too.
how do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage isn't medicine, it's more
Okay,
like
I did not
plumbing.
use silver.
Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril to the
Can you
very
put up
back of
hair?
your
Oh, I
nose
gotta
where
forget.
germs can get trapped and multiply. And then out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and microbes so you
Guys,
can
I gotta
better
do a little
sleep
housekeeping. I'm
deeper,
gonna try
snore
it.
less, and stay
Do it in a
healthy.
good way.
Join over 2 million others and find out for
really
yourself how refreshing and easy to use Navage
Are you back in
is.
Have we had a marriage one today?
Oh, yeah. Bed Bath and Target. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
As the country bounces back from COVID and mask mandates are lifted, your business needs a lift. Too. Promote your company.
So what do you think about this rumor about Brady going to the Dolphins?
93% of Americans every week. That's more than Google, more than Facebook, more than TV. In fact, radio reaches...
But Mark, I'm disappointed. April Fools came and went.
I know, Tom's not here. I'm starting to think the only reason he's not here is because he knows I get him.
Yeah.
I should call him and tell him I got kicked off the air.
You have plans.
Several years ago, probably for a period of time didn't...
Damn it! It's the first year I haven't gotten them yet. God, last year was the best. That poor bastard almost had a mental breakdown. I've never felt bad about getting somebody. He looked like he was shattered.
Dr. David Opperman figured out my problem, fixed it, and saved my career, and I'll be grateful forever. For all your vocal needs, please get started at ColoradoVoiceClinic.com.
When buying chicken, do you ever wonder what your chicken was fed and how it affects the taste and
When I was buying chicken. I don't think I've ever wondered anything when I'm buying chicken.
It's gonna be good.
That's sad. Just
Get any more, we just load up Costco with the rotisserie chickens, throw them in the freezer,
Those
pull
are-
them out, reheat them.
They must give those things still. They are so meaty
compared to everybody else's. King Supers look like fucking pigeons.
They look
Well,
like
they're just a little bit older.
Orange Cayman.
So you got your chicken, you got your rooster, and you got your hen.
And a pullet. Isn't there something like a
Who's
pullet?
fucking the chicken?
Pullet is the female.
Yeah.
Actually,
Or you can get a Cape Cod.
French for chicken. Female. Poulet.
All right, guys.
Poulet.
So there's this law firm we talk about a lot, Harris Family Law. I like these guys over there. In fact, they've been around, oh my goodness, I think it's like 250 years collective experience at the law firm over there, over 25 attorneys. But here's something I really like. Let's say you're in a relationship right now, and you have, maybe it's been a long time, but for whatever reason you want to separate, or you want to get divorced, and you haven't talked to your partner about it, or maybe both of you are thinking about it, but you're like, okay, what does that mean? Who ends up getting the kids? Who ends up, do I got to give up half my money? How about if you own a business together? What Rich and Lisa Harris can do is actually amazing. They can actually sit down with you. It doesn't have to be both of you. It can be just one of you. And they can tell you what your situation will look like after the divorce. What most likely will happen to that business you both own, that house, the kids, the money in the bank account, the 401k accounts, the savings, maybe a trust from one of your parents that had nothing to do with your wife. You get the idea. They can actually paint a picture of what your life will look like afterwards. I'm going to give you a phone number if you're in that position. You should call them up. Now, they handle all kinds of family law stuff as well. But these guys, they're the real deal. These guys have been around for a long time. They are experts in what they do, and they live and breathe their law firm. Rich and Lisa Harris, 303-515-5000. You should really check it out. If you've been sitting there, if either of you, they can also do mediation for both of you if you don't want to hire attorneys. They do everything. 303-515-5000. Now, thinking of that, it's kind of funny. Watch this. Watch how I go into this other topic. We just talked about family Harris law. Now, what do you think's coming up next? Can anybody guess? Well, an RV trip that Suzanne and I are going to be taking soon. So Century RV is where we bought our RV years ago. We have a different one now, but honestly, the first nice RV I bought, and I got a great deal on it, and when we sold it, we almost recouped the same amount we paid for it, but with Century RV. These guys have the best inventory in Colorado. They're the largest dealer of certain fifth wheels in the United States. I mean, these guys are great. If you're shopping around for that RV, and I can't, as far as an industry and a vacation, man, you're not going to beat an RV. Absolutely not going to beat it, but CenturyRV.com, that's CenturyRV.com, and their new service center opening soon. Guys, they put millions. Kevin, can you imagine putting millions of dollars into your shop? Millions.
That'd be sweet.
That's their new service center that's going to be opening up in Longmont. And there's a lot more to talk about.
So, Mark,
about
you
that.
have Harris on retainer for when you to come back from your 5-week RV trip?
Actually, Suzanne and I, ironically, Doc, unlike most people,
We get along great.
Divorce rates and a lot of stuff, I'm sure went up through COVID, but we have worked and lived together from day one. We have never not worked together, maybe for about 3 or 4 months, but we used to ride around in a truck the size of a Hostess cake truck, Doc, together. So when we weren't home in our small apartment together, we were on the road together.
Teenagers.
Teenagers. She was 16. I was, well, let's just say 17. Let's keep it all legal and family friendly. But honestly, we've been together forever. And then she's our producer now.
She's a saint. There's no question.
There's no doubt. But we have always done it. So it's kind of funny. A lot of people that had issues, we've just always lived together. So being in an RV together is actually a treat. We love it. Okay. Now, after saying all that, let's go to Troy. Hey, Troy, what's going on, man?
Hi, Mark. I've got an issue with a Jeep, and after listening to your last story about the cylinder cocked head, you kind of stirred my pot again. So took their Jeep into Auto Nation Jeep on Arapahoe and I-25, and for an issue of firing correctly. So I had already done code reading.
All right, hold on a second, man. Suzanne, let's see if we can't get him up a little better. I got to put him on hold. He's breaking up. I can barely hear what he's saying. Let's take a quick break. We'll see if he can get up.
Now, impact traffic. This report is sponsored by Banter.
I deal in Blake Harris. These people are going to... I have to do it! I missed a shitload of in-house inventory, so I'm just fucking working.
This has been cleared, but we are still seeing stop-and-go speeds from University because of it. Your Fox 31 pinpoint weather, sunny today, mid to upper 50s for the high, and mostly clear. We'll get down to 33 tonight. Mostly sunny, and your 70 tomorrow, and a chance of showers Sunday afternoon. Otherwise, mostly cloudy and 50. Right now, sunny, 56. With your impact traffic and weather potential 6:30. Hey, how?
New blinds or shades? Blindster.com offers custom-made blinds and shades and shutters.
All right, hold on, guys.
Directly to you at prices less than big box retailers.
Please put Silverleaf's number up, please.
To fit. And right now, save 45% off any order. Just use code radio at checkout. Blindster.com.
All right, reasons to refi by Mark Major. And I'm being serious here. There is reasons to refi right now. Maybe college tuition and expenses. Those college